seem like something that's still not, still not me. Pick up my suitcase, head on down the road, and baby, when I come back, by then my love might have even sold ourselves. I don't want no skinny woman, a woman who's got no sense of style. I want a girl with a diamond ring on her finger, one who knows how to say nothing. I just can't find this girl, no.
Hello, I am the Ronan Paul, and welcome to a twitch.tv/Robo. On live twitch.tv/Ronan Paul.
The truth will set you free.
It's just a stunning, just a striking intro he does, doesn't it, every single time? Welcome to, wait.
Oh, there's no tomorrow. Will take a hold of me,
Welcome back to a twitch.tv Ronan Pawn thing on the place where we do this stuff. I am the Ronan Pawn. That's some Kerbal Space Program. That was me pushing out some gas that I had stored in my stomach out through my chest, larynx and things like that. Now you know what things are. Hello, RMAJ Gaming. Hello. Who else? That's it. It's just hello, the 14th Doctor, a new Lord. It's Latrons on Keel 1. It's a secret to every pony. XXX smell XXXXX. That's a lot of X's. And GPS Twitch and Jam764 and Tisapef. Sup, y'all? Homies? Something? Pawn, have you checked out stage? Oh, God. No, I haven't walked around on the virtual reality holodeck with the Star Treks yet. No, I'm a very busy man. I barely have time to hold this coffee in front of me without drinking any of it. Or to close my door at the beginning of a live stream. I am a very busy man. There appears to be a flaw in my green screen technology. Give me a moment. I leave something like that every stream just so I can get up out of the chair and like show off that my green screen area is so huge, and also, you know, so that I can turn around and bend over for you. Because I know that's what you really come here for. That's why you subscribe. That's why I make the big bucks. Pawn, you have no idea how much I've been waiting for this stream, says GPS Twitch. Ooh. Are you lubricated? What? How much have you been waiting? Condor70, hello! I'm very lonely and bored. Yes, okay, then you are lubricated. Dead ass toast is a new lord. Okay, where's the... Why is the... You know what? The audio cut out because it's time to play the game. Not because things are breaking. Because it's time to play the game. Welcome to Kerbal Space Program. Don't usually do KSP on a Wednesday live stream, do we? Historically speaking, haven't always done that. Has been the way that it hasn't always been. But I'll tell you what, I got a mission programmed, I got a mission planned, and a rocket built, and a program written, and code. I got a song that I want to play for y'all, like to hear it go. What? Listen, okay, the last time that we Kerbal Space Programmed it, where's the sunshine? Is it going up or coming down? Oh, it's going down. Goodbye, sunshine. The last time that we were here in the KSPs, we sent our first drill ever to the surface of Minmus. We found out we had a couple of problems with the drill. Hang on here. Just hold on here with the volume level. Yeah, come on, kick it. Drop the beat. Boom, yeah, my headphones are screwed up. Get motherfucker! Hi. You piece of shit! Okay, now it's really broken. Now it's really... Where's the... What happened? God damn it! I may have developed Tourette syndrome at some point. If you were a YouTube live streamer, you'd have the same thing to say. If you were a Twitch live streamer exclusively, maybe not. But as a YouTube live streamer, you'd be fuck! You would occasionally just scream. I mean, how else are you gonna get through the days? Is what I'm saying. You know. I mean, it's either that or there's gonna be blood on your hands. It's just gonna. There you go. Nope. You fucker! Oh, there it goes. There it goes. So you just gotta treat it right, and be careful and gentle and have patience. You piece of shit! By the way, guys, did you hear about the major Intel-based CPU bug? Apparently, it'll slow all Intel chips by 5 to 35% when the patch is pushed out. It affects Linux, Windows, and Mac OS. Jam764. Are you gloating about your AMD superiority? Cause I own a Ryzen 5. Yeah, put it up. No, what is that a real thing? It's just software on Windows side. It's not so much Intel's fault as it is Microsoft's fault. Do you guys still feel like Bill Gates even comes into work at Microsoft? I mean, I don't think he has any involvement at this point. You know, it just wasn't that long ago that I was like, yeah, Bill Gates is still involved in the company. Nah, I'm pretty sure he's just like him and is it Melinda, just like, you know, hang out on their island volcano and just sip Mai Tais and throw money at charities, which, you know, I don't begrudge them that. I think it's a very good lifestyle, honestly. I'd like to try it myself someday. Sadly, don't have all the fucking money in the world. But, yeah, I don't think Bill has much to do with Microsoft anymore. And now that he doesn't, in my mind, far better person. Someday I'm gonna stop live streaming. I'm gonna become a fucking saint. AMD makes CPUs, says GPS tweet. Did you hear that video card company started making CPUs? That are and have been for the past 7 or 8 years, you know, like 150% more powerful than Intel's when it comes to multi-core processing. Sadly, not a lot of uses for multi-core processing for home users. For people, however, who live stream and encode video and stuff like that, boy, that's a good chip for them. Let's see. Did you bring it up for everyone, Pawn? Says Brent Gary. You want soggy Cheerios? You want them? Is the music really loud now? Fucking mother... Because I fixed it. But now it sounds louder than it used to be. You know? Can you still hear me? Am I okay? Can you hear my voice underneath the music, or is it too loud? You need to should I ask the DJ to turn down the bump? You learn a bunch of stuff every day. Not that I care. Says it's a hardware bug, so it's Intel's fault, but it's up to the OS owners to patch it in software, since the hardware update won't fix it without rebuilding the CPU. Jesus. Wow. Eating at a live streams is a new slur. Yeah, I don't think Bill even comes into work at Microsoft anymore. You? I think he's just kind of lazy. Look, I'm a Windows, Samsung, BS4, Intel, NVIDIA guy, and that's not changing, just GSP Twitch. Here's to not changing. Can you hear me? Last time, we built our first ever drill and sent it to Minmus, and we had some issues. We had some problems, we had some oversights. Well, just maybe, you know, one oversight. And that one oversight, no, there were multiple oversights, actually. The main one was that, alright, so just get rid of here so we can see what we got. This is what we sent to, this is our drilling platform, and I love it. It's a wee babby drilling platform. Just does what I want it to do. This one's built exclusively for harvesting monoprop. Probably a bad idea, but I like it anyway. So yeah, we make the monoprop in there. and then you come up and you just kind of like, you know, you hit the thing, like Skaterade, you know. This is where we do the magic. The magic wasn't being done at a high rate of speed. Why? Because before, these were not extendable radiators. They were static radiators, and static radiators only cool the unit that they're attached to and that unit's children. So the thing that they're attached to, and then everything that's attached to the thing that they're attached to. So all these parts were being cooled, but what wasn't being cooled was these drills down. And it didn't occur to me that the drills would overheat. Maybe the drills didn't overheat in the 1.0, because the last time I did any drilling was literally while I was showing everyone the pre-release version of the 1.0 of Kerbal Space Program that included all this stuff. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I don't know. Heating was broken back then anyway. One way or another, we built the thing, and these were overheating, and that meant they were drawing out like 1% of their possible, less than 1% of their possible, you know, yield. So it was going to take for friggin' ever. So that was an issue. Also, we didn't have quite as much battery juice as maybe we wanted to. Looked like we could have gotten through a little bit of the night on Minmus if we would have had a second battery. So this one's been fixed. We put another battery on. We replaced the old radiators with the extendable ones, which should cool the entire ship. I've also added some SAS to this so that it has a little bit more reaction wheel authority than the last version did, because we had issues with that. All well and good, but I don't want to drag a whole nother you know, drilling platform up to Minmus when I don't have to. Seems wasteful, seems excessive, seems gassy to me. So I have created the Minmus Mum Drilling Repairer Mark 1. And that, yeah, let me just delete this so you don't gotta, that looks like this. Okay? That looks like this. It's a much smaller ship, it's a much lighter ship, it's a slightly cheaper ship. It's much smaller and much... We're launching another one of our Pilgrims, okay? That's my design for a fully monoprop ship, and it's acting as a tow ship for two things. One, bringing up another Minmus roller. This is my little design for a Minmus vehicle that's based around trying to save you some Delta V by using lithobraking. So these, the impact tolerance of the fixed landing gear is 50 meters per second, so, you know, go ahead and get up your speed, and as long as you're doing 50 meters per second or less, just slam into the surface of Minmus. It'll all work out, probably. It's my idea, anyway. And then this is what we're really taking up. This is a repair kit for the current drill that's up there. And what I got right here is I got two 400 watt, I don't know, 400 unit electric charge batteries strapped on either side. So that's 800, and then I got one of the small ones there in line, that's 200, so we got 1,000. That's an equivalent electric charge to the larger 1.25 meter thing. So 1.25, the hell would you know? I wouldn't know. There's absolutely nothing in this tank. This is just an empty, you know, liquid fuel fuselage for reasons. I've got an SAS unit on there to add the SAS that we didn't have, you know, reaction wheels to it. It'll be sticking off to the side. It might cause weird, wonky, crazy kind of things like we like to have here on the Weird and Wild and Wacky Road and Fun channel. And then the last thing is that, yeah, I've got a thermal control system. I got an extendable radiator, but I've only got one. And what do you think of me only having one instead of having two on the thing that we're taking up there? Huh? Huh? Because, let's see, last live stream, because this would work very well. This would go straight up. It wouldn't block the ability of craft to, like, dock to it and stuff, which would be an issue for it if I had them coming out two on either side of it. So I wanted to just have one if I could get away with just one. So let's real quick and take a look at that. We're talking about the converted Tron over here. It max cooling, required cooling of 100 kilowatts. Max cooling of 50 kilowatts. What? How can the required level of cooling be more than the maximum level of cooling? What are you talking about there? I don't quite get it. Are you talking about your own ability to cool yourself down over time? What is optimum temperature is 1,000. Shutdown temperature is 1,500. Okay, sure. We don't even have to worry about that, though. We only have to worry about the mining excavators, these little arms. Because we've got radiators directly on the ISRU, the instant soda ramen unit. For all your soda ramen noodle needs. It's a Japanese, we bought it from Japan. Pawn, I didn't mention it live because I wasn't there. That's a good excuse. But when you built the bridge on the Last Planet Coaster stream and you looked at it at night, the whole blue lighting thing made it look like the evil Enterprise from that one alternate universe episode. There was a number of I don't remember that one. But cool. Cool. There was let's see, there was the one where Worf opened up like a dimensional gateway to all of the possible Enterprises, and they started popping up into one galaxy, and then the Enterprise had to kill the Enterprise that was being led by Riker, universe where Picard had already died, and, Worf had been banging Deanna, apparently. They were together, which is weird, because you can't really imagine Worf, biting Deanna's cheek, and then, I mean, you can, but I don't write fan fiction anymore. There's a lawsuit against, there's restraining order, I'm not allowed. The one where they send Tasha Yar back in time. Oh, so it was an episode, it was the first season one. Didn't she only survive the first season? I love Tasha. She was so cute and powerful and sexy. Damn her for leaving. Where the whole bridge was bathed in blue light. I don't know yesterday's Enterprise. You know, the names of stuff? Good for you, that you've got a memory that functions. It has this bug too. Even the new 8th generations are affected. Intel's hardware, and then it decreases the performance. Is it something that it decreases it over time, or are you saying the performance in the chips has been limited until now in the Intel chips? Since they rolled them out or something like that. In which case, at the end of the day here, are we going to find out that Intel chips are even that much more single-core processor power better than AMDs and Ryzen's and stuff like that? Is that what we're going to find out at the end of the day? Or something else? I don't completely understand anything that's going on. Angelus, 2141, cheering 5. Did CBS threaten to sue you over your fanfic because it was longer than 30 minutes? Or one of the other stupid rules they put on fan production that just borked Prelude to Axanar, which looked awesome? Prelude to Axanar? Is that like a deodorant spin-off or something? Prelude to Axe Wars body spray. Those rules are dumb. CBS can suck my balls. All of my balls can be sucked by CBS. I'm not, you guys, I don't, Thank you for Star Trek Discovery, by which I mean suck my balls! So I'm not watching it, so I'm not that, you can suck my balls because I'm not watching it. Why? Because you decided to charge for it in America, and you decided to put it behind a paywall, and you only showed me 20 minutes of the episode, and that episode was awful. It was awful, and if it wasn't awful, the people who saw the whole episode and saw it on a service where you weren't watching 8-minute blocks of commercials every 3.5 minutes, then even more reason for me to be angry at CBS for taking something that wasn't awful and making it awful. Because I could barely, it ruined the whole flow of whatever was going on. They didn't show enough of the show to actually make it feel like, there was a show being done there, or a story being told. They didn't give it enough airtime before they cut it off and said, hey, visit us behind CBS paywall and pay us money at cbs.cbspay. They didn't give us enough story for me to give two shits about any character that they presented on the, version that they were willing to show the proletariat who wasn't going to pay them. I didn't identify with any of the characters. The storyline looked like it was going to be some overdrawn, told friggin' war, and war in space, and war. Battlestar Galactica did that, okay? Star Trek's got a different thing going on. Kind of why I like Star Trek. I don't mind you changing what's going on, but, I'm not interested in a tale of, I gotta turn on the television. If I turned on the television, I gotta open. Let's say something honest. I gotta open Twitter and see what's actually going on in the world today. When I watch Star Trek, could you help me out a little bit? Huh? Could you not have, like, the main thing be something war and racist and... Could you do, like, Star Trek usually did? Like, that stuff was there. There were always moral lessons, but mostly it was like, hey, here's a model of a universe that doesn't suck. Here's an imagining of where humanity got its shit together before it destroyed itself. Here's, you know, could you maybe do that and then jump off toward the stories you want to tell that maybe, you know, relate to what's going on in the world? I didn't want it. I didn't like it. And I'll never see it. And F you, CBS, in all of my balls. Or whatever I was saying earlier. Prelude to Axanar is what they should have made instead of Discovery. It was a fanfic about the war between the Federation and Klingon before Kirk's Enterprise. But it looked amazing and even had Star Trek actors, but CBS killed it like idiots. Just YouTube Prelude to Axanar. Really? Thankfully all of Star Trek is on Netflix out here, says GPS Twitch. Yeah. They figured you guys wouldn't be suckered. No, I don't know why the hell they probably just couldn't. You know, it's probably like laws in the UK that are designed to protect consumers' rights or something. You know, they found out, oh crap, we can't advertise heroin to children, and we have to, like, put our television just on TV. Shit. Bloody Brits. Ruining our capitalist system. Get your hands out of the free market. Pawn, you only have one ball, says the 14th Doctor. That's because CBS bites. You see what I did there? I didn't see what I did there until I got it out. So, here's the question, right? We're worried about cooling the drill-o-matic mining excavators. It says the required cooling of 100 kilowatts. This thing only says that it's got a cooling of 50. Right? The small one? Small one's what I got here. It says core heat transfer 50 kilowatts. I have no idea how these statistics interrelate with one another. I've got 2 of those drilling arms on the unit that we're going to, and it says that it needs, like, required cooling 100 kilowatts. This is only 50. So if I'm reading that, like, straightforward and just taking, you know, taking Kerbal on its face for what it is, then I would say I need at least 4 of these, right? Because I don't have 100 kilowatts to run both of them at once. Or I could just bring up a medium, which is fucking huge and weighs a ridiculous amount, I presume, right? What are you? You're 0.25 instead of the small extended. Where's this? Okay, mass. Sort by mass, please. 0.05 or 0.25. So yeah, it does 4 times the work for 4 times the mass. Order now, and we'll also send you a free kick in the nuts, and we'll bite one of them off. It just so happens they were still historically significant. Who was historically significant about what? Wait, if I know my canon right, I believe those were actually really low-key and only kind of a minor thing in it. What? The human augments and the eugenic wars, says Angeles 2141. Oh god. You mean the lore that never happened on any of the television shows? Memory Alpha said the eugenics wars caused some estimated 30 million deaths. That's not low-key, says Analyst 2141. Well, it depends if that's low-key or not. I mean, in about, what do you figure, like 20 years from now, overpopulation, the fact that people can't just stop breeding, there's gonna be 30 million people living on my block, you know? That could just be like, yeah, it's a car exploded, and there were 30 million people inside. I mean, have you seen the population figures? This is just the planet cleansing itself. That's... oh, GPS Twitch, don't make similar jokes to me. It's just Asia, 30 million deaths. It's just a Tuesday morning in Asia. Yeah, I don't want to put a medium on there. I'm not gonna put a medium on there. I don't... Do you think I can get away with just this small one? And run both of my... Because I don't... It's like if I trusted the game, then I'd go, no, pawn, you've definitely got to something and the other do. So, do the other do. I would totally say that to myself if I trusted this game. But, you know, required cooling 50 kilowatts. That seems pretty straightforward. You know, you want to run this thing, this one, you're going to need 50 kilowatts of cooling. I've got 2 of them up there, which is 100. I don't understand why max cooling is 100 kilowatts. That's, okay, so required cooling is to keep it running at not optimal levels, but at nominal levels, right? Max cooling, if you want to go for broke, you put 100 on the thing, and that'll keep it so cool that it'll run super extra double good. Right, Mage Lord Exelbirth, who just subscribed? Thank you, Mage Lord Exelbirth, for the subscription. You now can actually chat, well, no, that's not how that works, is it? Damn it. We'll get back to that. I'll mention that later. Thank you, Mage Lord Exelbirth, for the resub. Here are some Ronin pawns in chat for you today. Here and now. Here they come. Any minute now. Just hang in there. Getting you some Ronin pawns. Having them shipped over from China. Takes a while. It's a big Pacific Ocean. Captain occasionally gets drunk, runs into icebergs, you know, can take a minute to get them. What are we supposed to do, says Analyst 2141? Just get drunk and drive into an iceberg. Never mind. Never mind. Thank you, Mage Lord Exelbirth. Maybe you'll give some of your Ronin pawns in chat to people when they subscribe because you're a nice guy. Maybe. But, you know, the other people here, see, he will. That's him. He's giving Ronin pawns to himself right there. You guys disgust me. You work for CBS and Microsoft. Alright, yeah, so I'm gonna guess required cooling is, if you want this thing to run nominally, you have to have 50 kilowatts. If you want it to run at maximum speeds, give it 100. That's what I'm gonna guess, which means what I've brought up here, in the form of the small thing, only does 50 on its own. I'm gonna assume core heat transfer 50, so that means I can run one of them at nominal rates. If I run both of them, I will be overloading the system eventually, and it won't cool the thing and the other. Cools up to 4 times part temperature. You know what? F it. F it, F it, F it. I'm not gonna put another one on here. Can't stick around though, just wanted to get that taken care of later. Thank you, Mage Lord Exelbirth. Back to work. Pawn, has anyone ever told you you look like Zorg from the Fifth Element? Actually, yes. It may have been you, but someone said that before. I would give pawns, but I sub in my wife's account, says Attacker. Oh. Tier 5, I work for CBS, Microsoft, Apple, the CIA, the NSA, the FBI, and the FCA. I wonder how many watch lists I'm on now. I'm just gonna have one. We'll at least be able to run one of our drills nominally. And I'll also get to test whether Kerbal is lying to me or not. Whether, you know, I get to run it real low. Real low. I mean, the other thing that I was going to do, if I wasn't going to do that, is I could put 2 of them up on one side of this thing. 2 of them on the, and then they could fold out in the, I'm just taking one of them. Now, I have not tested this ship. I made it on my own time, but I have not tested it. I have not flown it. It very possibly does not have enough Delta V on it. I'll acknowledge that straight off the bat. You know what? No, take it lower. To about like there maybe, and then can I get you to snap? There we go. Wow, that is a big collar you got on there. But it's got to fit the, yeah, I overbuilt that. That could have been a lot smaller, couldn't it? No, from this angle you needed almost a quarter of what you did. It's fine. It's got to be that way. This may not have enough Delta V. We were showing 3,446 meters per second of Delta V right here. Okay, so pushing this to, I mean, it has enough Delta V to get to Minmus and all that sort of thing. But trying to get this up to orbit using this lifting stage, kind of sketchy. Is what I'll say. Kind of sketchy. What I've got here is a system whereby while the SRBs are burning, we're also burning these 4 little Twitch engines. Those Twitch engines are going to give us control authority, probably from the worst place ever, above the center of mass, whatever. It's fine. While we're on the SRBs, we're running these, and only these, as a little bit of liquid fuel, added reaction, or added, you know, control authority supplement, and these had to be there for more than that. It wasn't just for that. These were going to be here regardless, because we're also running the Reliant liquid fuel engine when we drop the SRBs. Why the Reliant? Because it's got more thrust to weight ratio. You lose delta V by not taking the swivel, but if you need TWR, that's where you go. So between the Reliant and these 4 Twitch liquid fuel engines, we have atmospherically 0.97 TWR once we drop those SRBs. This is the build. This is like the way to go for me now in what, Pawn? In lifting stages. I love this concept, where I've built a craft where by the time we get to space, we get to drop the engine that brought us up, most of the fuel tanks, and just have a couple of little, you know, weak engines that push us to orbit finally. I love this deal. It is entirely possible that we could make orbit with 3,446 meters per second because of the way this works, and because these calculations aren't quite right, because of the way that fuel and the thing and the savings that you'll get by yada yada and so forth. I love this way of going up now. My favorite. So off the pad we have 1.23 TWR, then we have a 0.97 when we switch over. Should be just enough to keep us from losing speed, hopefully. And we've got just enough delta V, possibly, if things work out perfect. And all of the things that we've made. So are we going to attach additional radiators using docking ports, says Athakra? Did you just get... I've been talking about it for half an hour now. Actually, mostly it's been talking about something else and then coming back. And this is going to be attached to the thing by the docking port. You have had a half an hour to say, hey, Pawn, that's not going to work and here's why. And you didn't, so we're leaving. No, we're not. Is Noah here? And does the fucking bot work yet? Raffle. Open. Anything. Work. God damn it, Noah. This is getting stupid. Like, I was trying not to pressure the guy, you know, because he's got the bot, but it's been like 3 weeks now? Am I wrong? It's been like 3 weeks where there's only a bot around when he decides to show up to a live stream? Like, is this how a moderator is supposed to... I'm sorry, you were like, you know, you were nailing it in, Noah. Go yell at Noah on the Discord channel. Tell him he's a bad moderator, because this is not working out for me. You know, you've got a little device that you can run the bot on, and you took it offline because it needed repairs, something bad happened, whatever. Can we, is it 3 weeks it takes you to load it back up on in a way that we can have it every live stream? I know I've been taking you for granted that, you know, you built the bot and all that. I haven't been taking for granted. I've been very like, good job, Noah. And now I'm like, the fuck is the bot? Can we get... Now we only get to have, like, the entire community only gets to have the bot when you happen to be around for a live stream, Noah? That's how we're gonna do this? Even though you completely have the capability to have it running right now? Is that... Bring back BinBot, says Athakra. We might have to, won't we? No. Noah. No, but... Let's, so now I could draw in two Kerbals to fly this thing if we could do a raffle right now, but... What am I gonna do? You know, we don't have a no-bot, so I guess you guys just can't participate with this anymore. We can't do what we usually do because, you know, our main technology moderator just can't be bothered for the course of 3 weeks. He's got a version of the bot that works. He's got an Arduino or whatever that he's running it on that can be online all the time and not have to be online when the computer's on and draw a minimal amount of power. He's got all the things, but... Can't wait to hear back on this one. So what am I gonna do then? How do you draw people in for this pawn? Well, I'm just gonna, you know, I'm gonna write everyone's name down on some pieces of paper and put them into a hat and jiggle them around, and then we'll find out who won. Who won the live? Who gets to go? It's gonna just be whoever happens to be talking right now, and that's Triflistic and Athakra are the last 2 people in my chat window. Congratulations. You just got yourself, by the incompetence of others, you just got yourself a ride to space. Triflistic. Triflistic, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain. Blah, yay! And Looney 700 was a little late with the blah, I'm talking. Triflistic, you are a male, you are an engineer, you are level 2. You can do those things. Triflistic, welcome in. And then Athacra, you are a female, and you're going to be a pilot. And name is already in use. Name is already in use. Is your name in use because you're down here? Or are you somewhere else? Surely there's many Athacras in the universe. I don't know. Wow, look at all the people that I've had. Doesn't look like there's any Athacras on the ground. So we're going to have to build ourselves an Athacra the third or something. Athacra 2. It's the re-Athacraing. There you go. Create that Kerbal. Level 2 pilot. And a woman. Whoa, man. Wait a minute, man. Talk like that might limit your lifespan. Boom! Ba-da-da-da. Last time I went to Minmus, it didn't end well. Well, you wanted to stand in front of the Kerbal cannon. Don't blame me. It is your choice. I was shot out of the Kerbal cannons as a thing. I recall. I do remember. Okay, we're gonna give this craft a test. It hasn't had a test flight yet. I can't believe... Yeah, I can believe. It took me 35 minutes to get around to actually, like, sticking somebody into this thing and sending it somewhere. Thacra and Triflistic, welcome to the Minmus's Mum Drilling Repairer Mark 1. You know, Godspeed, Captain. Godspeed, boys. Seems about right, says Triflistic. Triflistic! You want to stand in front of the Kerbal cannon? Ask the Thacra, it's fine. It works great. He had a good time. I love launches when the sun is either rising or setting, because it's just so cool to like come off the ground and it's almost night, and then by the time you're 30 seconds into the flight, you're like, it's midday. What the hell happened? Essay on throttles are full. We got a Thacra the second Kerman and Triflistic Kerman, who are going to be botlessly taking... Yeah, I'm still on. No, I'm still on about it. Botlessly taking the repair crew up to the drill in space on the surface of Minmus to repair the errors of last live stream. Errors that, I had to find out. I had to do it once. I had the guidance of a lot of people in chat. For a minute there, we thought it was going to work, and then I moved the radiators around, and then I guess we all just kind of missed, oh, that's not going to work because they aren't touching this, that, or the other thing. So I did what you'd have to do on your own the first time that you drill in Kerbal Space Program, is just throw one together, put it somewhere, and see what the problems are. I mean, either that or just read like all of the dev notes from every release ever and then still be confused. Noah! Where's the bot? Have him bring me my pills. I'm fine. It's not even hot under all this hair. Houston?
Yeah, what is it, Pawn?
Did I get a countdown?
You don't sound well, Pawn.
I'm fine. I'm fine, Houston.
Can I ask you a question, Pawn?
Yeah?
How is it that I can do my voice just fine while you can't do yours?
I don't know. It's just a countdown, please.
In 3, 2, 1, fire!
Oh, that's loud. That is loud because of all the extra engines we're firing, and it came off in a certain direction. Weirdly. How did that... What happened there? It immediately turned down to the east. I mean, I'm not against that. That is where we're going. But... What? Why? What's going... Because 2 SRBs on one side are pushing it that way? Because that's why I did that. Was so that, I don't know, but I mean, we're turning over at the speeds that I want to be turning over, I guess. Stability assist is doing the best that it can. The yaw is completely to the west. I haven't touched a damn thing yet. Trying to hold us up. We're at 3 kilometers. We're already down to 65 degrees on the bubble. I wouldn't have turned over this quickly. Personally, if I were in control of this mission, I wouldn't have done it this way. But I'm clearly not in control of this mission. Solid fuel is about to burn out. Switching over to the liquid fuel engines in 3, 2, 1, go. There we go. Oh, okay, watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it. Just follow your prograde. Again, I'm not in control of this mission. I'm just sitting here watching it. And look, there you go. What sunset? What are you talking about, sunset? Hey, man, wait a minute, man. Talk like that might limit your lifespan. Vaughn, have you considered pigtails, said GPS Twitch? I've considered a lot of things that got me in trouble with the local authorities. Oh, you mean for me? Okay. No, actually. Yeah, we have turned over way too quickly. I'm going to stability assist at 20 degrees on the bubble here, because that turnover was not how I planned it to go. Perfectly honest. And we're already down to like a 10 degree on the bubble situation here. And why can't I pull off of this? Why? Oh, God. Okay. So, here's the thing. Even those 4... yeah, you better just follow your prograde. Okay, that's not... This is kind of a scrubbed launch, is what we're going to say here. Even those 4 Twitch liquid fuel engines just don't have the kind of control authority that we need at... perhaps because they're where they are in reference to the center of mass, I can barely do anything with this. Yeah, I can't do much of anything. Let's see if I pull out of the bubble in that way, pull out of the bubble in this way. It's a nice aerodynamic ship that it doesn't want to like flip or anything, so that's a good one. But in terms of being able to control this thing as it's going up, that's not happening so much. However, I am going to break the... I'm planning on breaking the world record for speed before we impact an ocean. You know, let's skip that part. Let's go ahead and skip that part. Nice lens, dude. It's not gonna rud, is it? Wait. What the hell? Yes, it is, says GPS Twitch. Fins, says the Thacker. Yay, fins. I could just try and launch it again. Pong, you've made an inferior ship. You know, it doesn't fly well, it doesn't have the control authority that you're looking for. Even though you could probably get it where you want it to go. You know, by things and other and stuff. Even though you could probably get it to work, just by flying it as it is right now, you've made yourself an inferior ship there, Ronan Pawn. Do something to make it better. Okay, what would I do to make it better? Well, you'd put on the lowest mass, fins that you've got that have some control surfaces on them. I hate the Delta Deluxe winglets, they're ugly. You'd put on the prettiest, control surface enabled fins that you've got in order to serve your mind, in order to serve your aesthetic preferences. Okay, those are right there at the bottom. They're kind of behind the occlusion and that sort of thing, so I don't know how much control they're going to give. They'll give us some control. They're in the right spot. They've added a meaningful weight to us there. We're down below 3,400 meters per second in Delta V showing right now, so we need to add some more. I had tacked a little bit more on here. I just put just a nipple of liquid fuel in there. Just a little wee nipple is what I had put in there for reasons. So I wonder if putting one of you on will get me back to why you didn't show anything. 3398. Is it because of this? Is this? Yeah. 3417. We're at that point where you either add a lot of fuel or you don't add fuel at all. I didn't want to have all of that in there because it's going to be hard enough to get this guy out. Man, have I got a mission profile for you once we get up there. Should have explained this at the beginning. Here's what we do. We get all this up into space, then we will still have this section of the lifter attached to us, okay? Then we come in here, we detach the Minmus roller, move it out of the line, Then we fire the Separatrons in order to pull this back down into atmosphere. Then the Minmus roller comes back over and links up to us, and then we go off to Minmus, and then somehow when we get to Minmus we try and land with all this sensitive, delicate equipment on our butts while we're coming down on Minmus. I haven't figured that part out yet, but it should be easy. That's what I'm telling myself. So I didn't want to put a bunch of stuff in there, even though, you know, I could have put a bunch of stuff in there. I didn't want to, because it was gonna, and stuff. Reasons, people. It'd be in the way of him having to, like, move out and move back in and make it hard. Make it a ward, it would. Yeah. If I take these off and I get rid of you, what happens when I just add a whole nother Dillio's worth of fuel? You know, like a metric Dillio, not one of those imperial Dillios. Nobody knows what the hell those are. So if I just, like that, it's 3,718, that's way more than we need. And then having 4 of these is what we did last time. Where are the other? Yeah, they're there. That's 3,604 meters per second of delta V. That is way more liquid fuel in delta V than we need to get this thing up there. Boy, Pawn, boy. You know what you could do instead? What? You could put all this back the way it was just by Control-Zetting. Yeah? Could I? Are you sure? Because Kerbal tends to run out of Control-Zs real quick. Yes? No, you could. And then what if... What? What if you were to attach the extra fuel down here, you dimwit? You... something Ramus? That's an insult, isn't it? I heard Bugs Bunny say it, so it has to be true. 3429 meters per second of delta V. If I keep tacking on fuel, our TWR, which is already kind of miserable, is going to get more so. But that is a place where I can stick some fuel and some delta V, and we'll be getting rid of it, and it won't be an overkill of fuel and delta V, is what I'm happy about in that scenario. What do we got now? Why are you showing me you broke the staging somehow or something? What's the dilly? Yo. The dilly yo. Fire you and you at the same time, and then we switch you on at the same time as we drop those, and then we drop that and the other thing, because you're looking at atmospheric Pawn. 3,460 meters per second with that. I could go ahead and drop these down to here. Okay. A little bit more sense. We've added back the liquid fuel that we need in order to get up there, but what we haven't done is add back the thrust-to-weight ratio. Atmospherically, we're down to a 0.92 when we switch over to the second stage there. Now, because we've already got a bunch of speed, that might be okay. We might catch back up real quick from that 0.92 to just going. So, it's possible. It's not good. Pong, you're forgetting the daily politics rant. Even I'm having trouble, like, following me these days. I'm getting a little bit worried about the state of my mind. I need to start smoking weed. You guys remind me. It's very important. I've got a chronic genetic medical condition here. I need to start smoking weed so I can start remembering what's going on. Because that's how that works, right? I'm starting to worry. My brain is, what was I talking about? There are things that just, they feel different. I don't worry about it as much as I'm entertained by it, as much as I enjoy the feeling. It feels like there's more space in the universe, more space between all the moving parts. I guess what I worry about is that I can't see how the moving parts connect as easy. Like, my mind knows that they all connect. But I can't, like, just jump in there and put them, I can't just see them and put them together the way that a younger me, you know, used to be able to do. Which is fine. I don't identify with my intellect. It's not my identity, is not my intellect. I'm just gonna try and launch this thing. Hopefully the pilots are still in there. And if your identity is your intellect, if you think of yourself as being like, you know, all I am is my mind, all I am is my thoughts, this is what I have, this is my contribution to the world is... Oh, hi! Yeah, so there's a small problem.
On?
Yes, Houston?
You want anything? I'm making a run to 7-Eleven.
No, I'm good. Actually, I'm good, Houston. Thanks, though. Athacra and Triflistic, you survived somehow. No! Are you in there? You're under the rubble! They're buried under the rubble, Triflistic and Athacra! Come out! Come out! Houston!
Yeah!
Actually, could you grab me a Slurpee while you're out there?
What flavor?
Cherry?
Yeah, I like cherry too.
Cherry's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Houston.
Sure.
Get out of there! Done dig yourselves! Somebody call 911! Triflistic is screaming for help. Can I get a spliff, says Triflistic? Weed flavor. 420 something with Still trying to figure out where that, what was it? The Gay Weed Paradise or whatever it was? Gay Weed Utopia? Still trying to figure out where it is I need to move to for that. Okay, revert this flight to the VAB. So that's why it was leaned off in one direction and I didn't see it and notice it. Because I haven't been smoking weed, you know? I need something to just ground me. My mind. It's a slipping. And the days, they are a-changing, and the something they is and the other thing. Can I get you down low enough to just strip it off? No, if you can leave it there, that's easier. Leave it there. How far down can I pull it? You can get it to there? It's not gonna rest on those, though, Pawn. Son of a biscuit Mother Teresa. Alright, just move you down on the things, like so, and then the things themselves, they come back up, it's on their own local rotations, and then they come out, but they gotta go in enough that it doesn't hurt my brain, which is somewhere around there, I guess. I don't friggin' know. You know, no, they're hanging out into space, Pawn. Alright, well then do them like that. Do me like that. Actually, what? Rip them off. Rip them off and let's put them on. They don't look right, do they? They were wrong. You know, you guys are supposed to be like that, and those two are supposed to be like that, and then I take these and I shove them in until the supports are actually touching the bottom part there, which now they are. And then we got those three, they're all set up. Still got the same thrust limiting as before. We've got an atmospheric takeoff of 1.2 TWR, and when we're on the pad, we won't be sitting on anything, damn it. Just move them down even further, Pawn. There you go. There you go. Now these aren't being supported by anything at the bottom. I'm sure they won't wobble around and bounce off of each other or anything. Shouldn't be a problem whatsoever. Give me snapping. Pull you over to, say, there-ish. Yeah, and then because it will hurt my brain if we do it that way. Give me that, and, nope, absolute, and you, and snapped, and, yeah. That gets it nice and flat. And now they're all attached to each other. We're down to 3,457 meters per second in Delta V in this silly little craft that I built like a week ago. After the first live stream, because I was like, I don't want to bore everybody on the live stream having to build this thing from scratch. Trust me, it would have taken a lot longer. All the time I sat here, figuring out how I was going to carry up another Minmus roller and making sure that the piece that we're bringing to repair the drill actually, you know, fit. And at least theoretically could do what I was trying to get it to do. Houston, countdown, please.
Yeah, you're running late there, aren't you?
I mean, I expected to be on Minmus by now.
Yeah.
Where's my cherry Slurpee?
Oh, shoot. I'll run. I'll be right back.
Can I get a countdown before you go?
Yeah, all right, in 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, that was quick, Houston. That was quicker than I had expected. It's still doing that thing where it's turning down the ball on us, isn't it? It's turning down, but it's not turning down the ball as much as it did in the first place. So I'm gonna go with it. See what happens. Yeah, I think we do have just the right amount of control authority now that we got fins on there. Hopefully. I don't know. Because we've turned down the ball. This could be like one of those perfect single space bar to orbit craft. Is one of the things that could happen. God, those engines, those spark engines, they're just so dirty. When you pair them with the SRBs, it hurts my ears to listen to that. We're just gonna fly this one from out here until the SRBs are done burning, because I just don't like it. You can now follow your prograde, I think. At these speeds and this height, go ahead and follow your prograde. Start, you know, making your own turnover. Or you're gonna make me do it, aren't you? SRBs are about to drop in 3, 2, 1. Dropping the SRBs. SRBs away. Oh, we're rocking, because I shouldn't have touched the ship. Now we can come back over a little bit. Give me stability assist. And we needed to have rolled down a lot before now. Whoa. A little bit late to respond to my my course corrections there, Kerbal. Okay, I figured it out. It's just spongy in the D-pad, you know? Is there a D-pad? I've been watching a lot of Ashens. He's constantly complaining about how his D-pad is spongy. Okay, we made good height on the SRBs, a little bit more than I intended. Rex Cute's cheering 10. Cute! Thank you! Oh, the hair? Or the ship? Oh, whichever. I'm proud of both of them. Rex got me the hair. Hi. I really like this hair, Rex, if I hadn't mentioned it before. Follow your prograde now. I managed to give us a slow but nice turnover, and look at the way that those shadows just strip off the tips of the mountains as we push our repairer for Minmus's mom's drilling. Whatever it was I called this thing to space. Is this too loud? I keep asking. I'm just gonna turn it up. Still a little loud for me. You guys let me know. Lol, the tips. No, we're not playing just the tips. Okay. Stability assist, hold us at 15 degrees. You still turned over, like, way early for my taste. I didn't get a chance to... I wasn't looking at our TWR either when we transferred from the SRB to the... There was a lot of things going on way back then, you know? It was a more complicated time. Trump was in office. He hadn't been assassinated yet. Rex Cheering 5. Wide shaft. Yes, right at the front there. Also, not the first person to mention that to me. 28 kilometers on the Apoaps. We should be higher right now than we are. We're going to make too much speed down here, and I'm going to have to wait to get up to our Apoaps. And we're going to go through so much atmosphere on the way that it's going to slow us down significantly, and we will have wasted the delta V that we had for getting to space. That said, 1,500 meters per second is the speed we have now. We've got 450 meters per second of delta V left in the ship, and we're not high enough. 300 meters per second of delta V, 1,750 meters per second. 200 meters per second of delta V, 1850, 100, 1900, and we're out of fuel. We're out of fuel. That is not a good flight. That's not a good flight. We can do a lot more with this if we can fly it right. We never even cracked 30 kilometers on that. You know? Just, it came down on its own too quickly. I was trying to let it do the work. Sadly, I do have to fly these things occasionally. Yeah, it's getting a little hot up in there, isn't it? Triflistic Thacra. Huh? It's getting a little warm? The cockpit? It'll teach you, pilot! You're flying, not me. Pilot! It'll teach you! Did you know that space was significantly higher than 30 kilometers? Noah, where's my bot? Revert the flight just to the launch pad. I think this one can be flown to space. I was too busy getting high, you know, and then I got high. And then I got high. And then I got high. I was gonna live stream Kerbal, but then I got high. I was gonna turn on the computer, but then I got high. I was gonna assassinate the but then I got high. And don't ask why. SAS on, throttle to full. Houston.
Because I got high, because I got high, because I got high. Da 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 da.
Okay. We got ourselves another one of them there liftoff sorts of majiggers that we like to do. SAS is on again. We've got a good rocket throttle full. Intestinal issues, Zavy? Wait, Zavy, what's happening? Hey all, here's to hoping I make it through the whole live stream this time. Hello, Zavy. Just tiredness from the GMT time zone, says Zavy Downs. Yeah, the Greenwich Mean Time makes everybody tired. Well, you followed your prograde this time. I wanted to turn down the ball a little bit quicker in the SRB stage, and then not so quick when we got to the rest of the stages, was the plan there. You can follow your prograde for now, and I think I'm going to have to... I'm slowing you down by holding some stability assist and just jerking back on the prograde a little bit here and there, and then you can follow the prograde again. SRBs, solid fuel, about to run out. Dropping and switching. Switching and dropping and dropping and switching. There we go. Get back on the line here. Oh, okay. Maybe there's a little bit more control authority than I expected. Hold 60 degrees on the bubble for just a second. Well, okay, or just follow, do whatever you want to do. That's another idea. You can do that. Sure. Turn your cabin lights on. It's very important in the middle of this procedure. We're kind of low for you to be outside your prograde bubble by that much, Vaughn. Yes, I know. But I can't let this get as low as I did last time, and I'm not making the same mistakes, but I'm still making mistakes here. I mean, last time they weren't mistakes, they were just hands off, you know, we'll see what happens kind of thing. 14.5 kilometers now and 13 kilometers there. TWR of 1.3. What was our TWR when I switched over? I wasn't looking. Surely you were paying attention. Someone around here has to be, right? I've got 30 degrees on the bubble held at 15.5 kilometers. My APWAPS is just 1,000 meters ahead of me. I'm not a fan of that. I want you to be higher. And I think this thing needs to have a lot more TWR that it doesn't have. And it's a huge problem right now. Vaughn, I order to get the nip ship higher than use weed as fuel. In order to get the nip ship higher, use weed as fuel. I think Triflistic and Athacra II would be in for that. You were at 30 degrees on the bubble a second ago. Wow! Wow, I can't pull it back. I left it at 30 degrees on the bubble and it just pulled itself down. What is with this ship wanting to go down? We can't seem to crack 19 kilometers with this thing. Back to the vehicle assembly building. God fucking shit cocking damn it. Oh, hi. You guys are here? How you doing? Ain't nothing wrong with my design. Could be a mass imbalance. Pulling the ship in one direction. But other than that, there's nothing wrong with my design. It's fine as wine. And I need more Delta V. And the only way that I'm going to get more, I need more TWR. And control authority, and the quickest way for me to get that is to just say, 4 engines? Why have 4 engines when you can order 6 engines today? You know? Order now online. This promotion will not last long. Limited supplies. Just order the 6 engines. These 6 engines will eat into our Delta V. Crazy. Like crazy they will. But they will give us the TWR so that we have a positive TWR when we're switching over. Is a thing that we can do right there in order to help things out. Now we don't have enough fuel. We're at that, you know, imaginary line where the more fuel you add, the more you kind of lose. Just kind of, that's like, you know, you add the fuel, then you add the TWR, and then eventually you go, with a payload this big, you should just have a larger engine and not be playing games with the Reliant and 6 switches, right? Yeah. Making it 4 SRBs, each about 20% bigger than those. Says Camel Ass. Alright, so we'll just, I'll just quickly model SRBs into the game that are this tall, as opposed to, it goes up to a double size Camel Ass. There's no 20% bigger. I don't have tweak scale involved, Camel Ass. And check your center of mass. It's I'll show you the center of mass. There. Okay? Don't, it's fine. Yeah, just like average, just that's the advice you hear on Kerbal Space Program forums. This is the kind of thing like, you know, just check your center of mass and it's aerodynamic and something. I don't know, I'm half asleep. I'm not making fun, Campbell lads. Yes, I am. But if you're not willing to be made fun of, then don't be here. I'm screaming at my my moderator who runs the bot for me for free in the very beginning of the episode because where's the bot, Noah? Huh? Unprofessional. Me to rely on you? It's been weeks after weeks after weeks. You got a version of the bot that runs, but you can't be bothered to turn him on during the live streams. SAS on throttle full at Houston. Can I get a countdown?
Yeah, sure, boy.
What have you got in your mouth?
I just came back from the, you know, I just came back from the 7-Eleven, so, you know, weed.
Oh, good. Did you get me some weed?
I think this bowl is cached.
All right, can we just get a countdown?
In 3, 2, 1, tricky dude.
You're kind of old school, aren't you, Houston?
You know it, bro.
Okay. Okay, we're going straight up this time. Even more control of the authority. Less Delta V, more TWR. Less Delta V on the craft that didn't make it before. At 50 meters per second, I'm going to start turning myself down the bubble. That's how I usually do this. Just slowly, I just start playing the D-tapping game. Just tap that D, tap, tap, tappy a little bit at a time. Tippity tap that D as you're moving on down the ball. You know, if you want to move down that ball, then you gotta tap that D. That's how that works. And then you smoke the fat, the blunt, the chronic, you know, with the dime bag and other words that are related to drug use. I don't know. You just pack that in the stems and seeds, man. Stems and seeds. And my life's been nothing but stems and seeds ever since the wife left me. You know, I pissed her off by, you know, she didn't like how much I was tapping that D, you know, and just tapping a little bit too much for her taste. I feel like I'm a little bit low on the ball already. Okay, so I'm just going to resist it. I'm going to set us a SAS point at just about 55 degrees there on the bubble. I'm going to try and resist falling down the ball. We need to make a little bit more height than this, but we don't want you to flip. Don't want you to flip, do want you to make height. I might just leave my hands off of the thing at this point. Because we know from I mean, look, I left it at 55 degrees. We've already been pulled down to 49, 48, 47, 40. So yeah, you see that. You see that it's pulling itself down at this point for whatever reason. Just leave my hands off of it. We've got NAPWAPs of 25 kilometers now. We have 1,500 meters per second left in the ship as of now. This could work. Might not have enough, you know, Delta V overall. But I might. You never can say. I've also got all of the fuel that's in that tank. It will drain if this needs it. It won't just die before we've used that, but this is the last fuel that gets used by the system. With the engine thing down there that's burning, it's creating flames out of its buttons. Oh, 4 degrees on the bubble. Hello. Hello. Okay, yeah. Turn down toward your prograde now. Come on down to your prograde. And I do want to get to space with this thing. It'll be pretty efficient if I can drop the weight of all those unneeded engines at this point. How are we doing on speed, though? 1,300 meters per second. No. Go ahead. Point down at the horizon. Okay, we need to make as much speed as we possibly can in the first burn. Hold dead on the horizon. Hold dead on the horizon, I said. Why don't you listen to me when I'm beating you? 62 kilometers, 1,700 meters per second. Come on, get me up to 2,000 before we push out to 70 kilometers. Will you hold on the horizon already? And 68, 69, 70 kilometers. 1. That's enough. 72 kilometers. How much Delta V we have? 51 meters per second. That's not good, boy. It's great. I love it. It's good, we made space. We've got enough Delta V in the tip of the ship to go wherever we want to, you know? Screw it, let's drag it there. I didn't make a good go-y-uppy stage for this because I was trying to use smaller engines, and I needed to just go ahead and upgrade to the 2.5 meter engine parts to skipper, something like that. But I like to do it this way, and the experience with this will let me know, like, because I'm pretty sure this is, like, just on the line, so if it's here, then from now on I probably do just want to build with the 2.5 meter engine, so what I'll do is I'll tell myself, you know, if you're at a payload like this, then, you know, go up to 2.5 meter, because I just don't have a combination of engines that gives me the TWR that's needed to get up here in a reasonable way. I love doing this little thing where you tack a couple of twitches on for some extra thrust of weight and some extra control authority. It's a great way to go. And when you get to space, we've got 51 meters per second we're showing right now. When we get up there, we're going to drop this fairing, we're going to drop that engine, these 3 fins, all of those fuel tanks, and we'll still have all these twitch engines to push us to orbit. So that 51 meters per second is probably going to turn into 80 or 90. Maybe, if that kind of thing. I love the technique anyway. I mean, we got up here with just 3,400 meters per second of Delta V showing. And Kurama109 is now following. Thank you for the follow. I need to, now that we're in space, drop all that stuff. Delta V is now up to 73 meters per second. It's not a lot, is it? No, it's not. Aim down toward the prograde, but a little bit higher, because we're gonna give it a push. We're gonna give it a try, is what we're gonna do. Oh crap. Actually, think about this, Pawn. Because if you're gonna burn all of the fuel out of there, then you need to drop that, and then this needs to come off and attach, and oh crap. Okay, burn this. You know what? You need to do this now. Holy crap. We don't even have to hold the APWAPs in front of us. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, okay. You know what you need to do, Pawn? What do I need to do? You need to switch to the staging array. You need to turn these engines on. Activate engine. Yeah, no, but both of them is what you want to activate that engine. There we go. Start burning. Are we generating Delta V? Are we... Is something where... Are you holding the APWAPs? Kind of. Kind of. The periaps is coming up. I know I'm dragging this weight, but there's a reason. This is attached to that. If I drop this right now, that goes with it. I can't. I won't, and I don't stop. Ronan Pawn, come and rock the sure shot. APWAPS is falling behind us. We are at 71. Well, that's it. What's our altitude? 71.2. Just push, Pawn. Periaps is at negative 130 kilometers. APWAPS will be coming back to me soon. It's already on its way. Okay. APWAPS is coming back to us. We are losing, you know, space height here. But we're gonna be fine. Here comes the APWAPS. Periaps is up to negative 50. We're, you know, wasting a lot of the Delta V that we had in this unit, but we had it to spare because these are the Pilgrims. And the Pilgrims are made to accommodate for the Ronin Pawn's, you know, lack of being good at any of this. That's what they're made for. You heard it here first. There's a periaps for us. Burn, 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 stop. Burn, 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 stop. Why are you stopping there, Pawn? You're still not safe. Stopping there. You're right. No, I can. I was gonna do it. No, I built this thing to be able to do that. Go ahead and get us an actual circularization. I was doing that so we could drop the piece that we're towing back into atmosphere, but I've got a better solution for that. There we go. We have a circularization. Hoorah! Turn your lights on. No, that's a crew report. That's not. Lights on. There we go. There we go. And then turn the other lights on. Looks cool. Looks cool. I put some lights up here, too. I like it. Apon, my wife would love to see you as a blonde, says Triflistic. Well, I can just drop trow. I mean, I am a blonde, technically. You got kind of dirty gray. dirty blonde? I'm a dirty blonde. I'm a dirty 30-something blonde. That orbit is dangerously low, says GPS Twitch. Yes! Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm proud. This thing needs to come off, or this is why I couldn't just abandon this load that we're carrying, because this thing was planned to detach, okay? And then I need to control it. Where are you going? Oh my god, it went exactly where I needed it to go. Okay, and then when that's done, I would just hit the space bar, right? Yeah, goodbye! 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 And then I think I'll actually use you to connect to him, because you'll be easier to control. So using RCS, I don't have a H on this, I have to just fire. So we'll get going a little bit in that direction, and then I'll start heading in his direction. Yeah, where you going, bud? Huh? You going somewhere? Not today, son! Go ahead, give me a little bit more like that, and then give me a little bit more like this so we can get her done. And then we need to link up to this, and so that we can tow it all to Minmus. Go ahead and set as the target. I don't need it. I don't need it, especially since we're still on this like perfect friggin' line that we had to start with here. Okay? Give me an N, give me a K, give me an S, give me a P. What does that spell? Not Kerbal Space Program. Not Kerbal Space Program. You're correct. NKSP. You can spell that with that. And then just slide her in there. And then are you on the right? Yeah, close enough. Close enough. Boom! Perfect connection. We're redocked with the thing that we had, and we've got 1,616 meters per second in Delta V to deliver this thing to space, to the surface of Minmus. It's already in space. To the surface, I am the Ronin Pawn. Program. Rex Gates cheering 10. Wow, says Rex Gates. I can't believe that came off as well as it did. That thing just broke off its own, like moved over on a perfect angle where all I had to do was just slide over to it and back her in. Space trucking, baby. That's what I was hoping Elite Dangerous was gonna be when it came out, and it wasn't. It's okay, we recreated it in Kerbal. Yeah. Did we win KSB, says Triflick? You damn right. Now you're drilling Minmus's mom. Wow, says Ben Drop. We're gonna be doing that in just a minute. We need to get over to Minmus and do that thing. And just, you said it was a dangerously low orbit before. What do we got here? 71 and 70. We're still good. We're still good. We need to get this thing out to Minmus, put a patch job on our old drilling machine, and we're gonna do that. Damn it! You're screwing up my pitches. You're screwing up my segues. Friggin' game. We're gonna do that after this live stream break. See, that's how it was supposed to go. I got a friggin' mod to mute the game when I have sex. It works like 30% of the time. I got a moderator who maintains the bot for me, can't show up, can't put the bot online if he's not going to be here, can't just leave the bot online like it used to be online. I know it's under an overhaul, but you got a version that works. Evil Donner Vocal, cheering 100. Just got here a few minutes ago, and I don't know what you're doing, but yay! Yay indeed! Where's the bot? Now, and thank you for the 100 cheers, Evil Donner Vulcan. We are about to fix the drill that we put on Minmus because it needed a little extra cooling, it needed a little SAS, it needed a little lovin' and some weed, some 420, just some dank, just Acapulco gold kind of, something that's got some leaf to it. My life's just been stems and seeds since my baby left me. Head on down the highway, yeah. I'm going with Super Bob. I'm going to stick it to the man. Listen to the lovely musics here during the live stream break. When we come back, we're going to Minmus with a drill for your mother. And then the music is supposed to be at the full volume when you turn it on, so it's totally screwed up.
We
you know the secrets of making friends? They are so simple and easy. Well, that looks easy enough. And Joey is going to try it out.
Now the summer's here, but just for a while. The night arrives, now I can smile. Just a little bit, speak up a little bit. It's past my bedtime, the season to go. Just a little bit, put out a little bit. When the birds and the insects put on a show. Give up a little bit. As the heat goes up, the cares go down.
Find good things in people.
As the fire gets hot all around the
Tell them
town.
the good things.
Summer's here to start, but it's not too
Smile
late
and talk to people. That's the first thing.
to feel the need to pollinate.
All day, things have been going better for Joey. Still smiling and talking to people, finding good things about people and telling them about the good things. Going home isn't going to be lonely this time.
When the morning comes and no one's around, come out a little bit. The sun struts and blinding, but without a sound. Just a little bit, sound out a little bit. My friends and I laugh as we sit in the dark. Just a little bit, give up a little bit. And watch the hills blossom near Central Park. Just a little bit, put out a little bit. And as the heat goes up, the cares go down. As the fire gets hot all around the town. Summer's here to start, but it's not too late to feel the need to pollinate.
Mother thinks that's a good idea.
It's the sign of the season to pollinate. You know you never need a reason to pollinate. It's the sign of the season to pollinate. You know you never need a reason to go.
Aw, the next song started before. Hello, I am the Ronan Paul, and welcome back to a twitch.tv/Ronan Paul live stream on twitch.tv/Ronan Paul. Shoot, I almost got this whole transitioning thing down. It's only been 3 years or so on Twitch. Nearly got it nailed. Welcome back. We are in the midst of an operation to send a repair kit to a drill that we put on the surface of Minmus that needed a little bit more cooling than we'd put on it in the first time. It's cool. We figured out what we needed, and now we know, and now we're doing it right. Maybe. I think. Hopefully. 35%? I don't know. Maybe. I almost got this live stream thing down. You guys, please tell me if the sound is too loud for you. Ah, did you have a good fap, Anus Lord? Did you have a good one? Are you done? How can you fap when I'm not on screen? When I'm on, that's when most people do it. Anyway, I am dedicating the last half of this live stream to our moderator, Noah Craw. And we have many moderators here, and I thank you all for your contributions. Noah has done an incredible amount of things for the channel, and you know I like to yell at him. The closer you are to me, the more that I'll just scream at you for my own amusement and I hope you take me seriously when I'm serious and don't when I'm not, but how can you possibly know? The man's insane. But I'm dedicating the last half of this live stream to our moderator, Noah Craw, who has done an incredible amount of things for the channel, organized a whole bunch of stuff, wrote a bot from scratch. It's offline now, and I was screaming earlier, where's my bot? And still, Noah, where's my bot? But, the Minecraft server, you know, constantly making improvements to that. Took the whole thing on. I ordered the server and said, I want to do a thing with vanilla Minecraft. I want everybody to be able to log on. I want to do VR. Other than that, can you guys just make it happen? And he just made it happen. And so this last half of the stream goes out to Noah. This is, by the way, the day in which the overworked and underappreciated get their comeuppance. It's 2018. It's a new year. And we're going to start this thing off right. Noah Craw is actually going on the payroll, which means that I'm going to have a payroll. He's done so much for the channel over the course of these past couple of months. I had a thing in mind. I'm starting a new channel. You don't know this right now, but actually this live stream is being broadcast on a third channel. We've got Ronin Pawn on YouTube. We've got twitch.tv/RoninPawn. So youtube.com/RoninPawn, twitch.tv/RoninPawn. There's a third channel right now that I couldn't even tell you where it is because it doesn't have a vanity URL yet. But this is being live streamed right there, and I was thinking, oh boy, I wish somebody else could do all the hard work for me of setting up this new channel. And then it occurred to me, you know, maybe you should just give Noah some money to do it. See if he'd have some money. And Noah, I'm not asking you to do that. I already did it. I got in there and just started doing it, and I'm glad I did because I made new graphics and things, and will probably keep making better graphics over time. But it got me thinking, you know, Noah's done so much for the channel, he really should have been, you know, compensated for something monetarily before now. So, if he's up for it, if he's interested, I'm gonna, even if he's not interested, there's gonna be a payment coming towards your PayPal account, Noah, very shortly. And thank you for all of the hard work. And that, you know, you just done because, you know, you were here to do it because you, I hope because just you wanted to do it. And as much as, you know, everyone around here gets on you. That's the thing, is I realize he's taken as much flack as I have or more. You know? Like when you're a public figure, you're on YouTube and stuff like that. Oh, you hear some things back that you don't want to hear, and you get trolls and stuff like that. Noah has his own trolls, and he's not even, you know, he's not even the guy in front of the camera. And, you know, how fair is that? So this is the year, and this is the day. The underappreciated get their comeuppance. Noah Craw, welcome to the payroll. At least, you know, a one-time payment. And then we'll see. Won't we? We'll see. I don't know that I can afford it, but I feel like it should be done anyway. You are tearing me apart, Pawn says. GP, yo GP, what's up? What are you saying? What do you mean last half? You've only been online for like an hour. Well, I need to get out and do some things today in order to... Here, let me show you. You said we were going to play Kerbal. We're playing Kerbal. Look, it's behind me. You're not actually playing the game. Look, I want to show you something, okay? Check it out. This is the Hauppauge, if that's how you pronounce it, media capture card, external. I could plug in consoles to this and be able to capture the video from consoles. We can play console games, except for I don't own any consoles. PC Master Vive Raced. For life. This is the capture card that we're going to be using shortly, capture device, that we're going to be using shortly for the live streaming into a second computer so that we have steady 1080p 60 frames per second. Problem is, hooking one of these things up with my already complicated setup, I keep running into problems. Man, I thought I had thought this whole thing through before, you know, when I started setting up the computer. I was like, okay, I'm going to need that, I'm going to need that, I'm going to need that, I'm going to need that. I want to do a KVM thing, so I'm going to need this and that and the other thing. I have just, this project has been nickel and diming me the whole time. I have to get out to Micro Center today and pick up $20 more worth in little adapters so that I can get the monitors to run in the right way because of the limitation. The 1070 has a bunch of DisplayPort ports and only one HDMI, and that thing wants HDMI, but the Vive uses HDMI, or it uses micro or mini DisplayPort, and then I'd need a cable for that. So I need to get out and do that thing. And they close at 9 p.m. around here, so, you know, we're gonna get this thing done, baby. And then something. I'm still a whack-a-mole, is the thing. Yeah, but Pawn, how about Kerbal though, says GP. Yo, GP. I will try and remember, it's GP. When I look over, I just want to say GPS Switch. It's wrong. Hey guys, remember that time Noah gave himself 850 pawn points as a secret to every pony? Yeah, remember how much flack he caught from that? He's done a lot, he does a lot, and he deserves what's coming to him. And it will be coming to him. We need to transfer over to Minmus now. And we're not gonna, you know, we're past the point where it would be ideal to leave for Minmus. If I left here, its orbital inclination would be an issue. But not a huge issue. Yeah, I gotta wait for it to go around a couple of times. F5 from here, Pawn. Things are going well. Let's... If I speed to 50... No, don't, Pawn. Just leave on this rotation. It'll take too long. We got extra delta V. 1,616 meters per second of delta V, and we're only going for a landing on Minmus. We can do this. So I will be leaving approximately when Minmus is popping over the... No, Pawn. Give yourself a maneuver node. Do it right. Okay. I've gotten pretty good at whipping out these maneuver nodes and doing it right. So let's use them. It saves you time in the long run, Pawn. Does it? Does it really? Get out there to Minmus. So not quite there. Where's the spot? Where's the spot? A little bit more, apparently. A little bit more, and then where's the spot? Where's the spot? Well, the spot isn't going to be there, Pawn. Well, why not? Because you're off the inclination, like you were saying. Oh, okay. Well, I won't actually burn for inclination while I'm doing this. I just want to know when's my time to leave so that I'll be arriving at Minmus with the, you know, least amount of delta V spent. So give myself a little bit of inclination up toward Minmus's and then more, apparently. And every time I do so, I end up putting more prograde on that I got to take off to form a delta V. Come on. Come on. There you go. You're just not doing what I need you to do there, son. You know what? I just came up with another way to do this. Completely different way to do this. Just go when Minmus is coming over the horizon, like you're supposed to. Screw these maneuver nodes I've gotten so good at, I can whip it right out. It's going to save you time in the long run, so you don't have to spend extra delta V, and then you don't have to scrub the mission because you screwed things up. Nah, I got it. Told you we'd play Kerbal, and now that we are, you're like, you know what? Start talking more about Noah Craw. I liked that part of the stream better. It was less frustrating to watch you do this. I'm going to start burning full prograde about now. We're a little bit early, but I think it's going to take a minute with these engines. And how are we doing on these engines, incidentally? You're doing good, Pawn. You got all the things you're supposed to have? Is anything burning off, or heating up, or exploding? Looks good. Does it? Yes, it does. You're fine. You're burning prograde for Minmus. It'll probably take 2 minutes unless you fizz warp us. Well, then let's sit here and talk for 2 minutes about Noah. Isn't he just great? Isn't he just...
Remember that time when Noah did that thing that everybody hated?
Yeah. I wonder if there will be a successor to KSB at some point, either an official one or a spiritual one, says GP. I wonder about the whole... Was it... Who bought KSP? Who bought the license for that? Is it EA? Which is weird. EA Sports in the game. Also, rocketry. Who bought them? Was it EA that now owns the license? I figure if they own the license, I mean, it seems like a weird thing to buy for any large company, whether it was EA or not. It seems like a weird thing to buy because, like, the era of Kerbal Space Program is kind of... You know, it's past its prime. They sold most of their units that they were going to ship while they were in alpha, and then they went 1.0 and sold the, you know, collection of those units, and then somebody comes along. I mean, it makes about as much sense as Microsoft buying Minecraft for the billions of dollars that they paid well after the fact. I mean, Minecraft was still making money. They got to make a bunch of money on the mobile platform, I guess, but it really was like, you're kind of late to the party here, fellas, is how it feels. But that being the case, it does bode well for the idea that we will get a successor, like you're saying. Because if they own the license, you know, and they don't make their money back on whatever they paid Squad for it, then yeah, you'd expect, wouldn't you? All right, just get your prograde out to like there, a little bit shy of the ring. We've created, you know, a fair bit of forward thrust. 396 meters per second we've only got. How is that the case? Is that still enough to land? Wow, we are close. We are close. I swear the last time I brought a ship up, I had like 1,500 from orbit, and we went and landed on Minmus and still had 200 and some Delta V remaining. Am I very, very confused? You may be, Pawn. Let's have a look at our Delta V map. I can't because the bot's not online and Noah's not here. The guy I'm going to pay and hasn't brought the bot online, so I can't. Okay, give me a second. I got to go into my browser window and just say Delta V. Otherwise, we could just, you know, type Delta V into chat and then it would just pop up. We'd be there. But no, I'll just click over here. We need 160 plus 180 to land on Minmus from where we are right now. Plus, we're doing an inclination adjustment on this. It's going to cost 50 or 60 meters per second of Delta V. Yeah, we're looking there. We're looking there for it. And I now see that the green screen has some flaws in it. Don't pay no mind. There's no man behind the curtain. 160 and 180 is 340? 320. 320 right there, plus the 50, that's like 370. Wow! Wow, are we close to not having enough to do this? We're right on the edge, aren't we? Back over to the game, Pawn. With 396 meters per second plus its inclination adjustment. Crap. Oh, yeah, you might have to go back to your F5 and do this again. Let's see. When I adjust that and bring it up, we get an inclination with Minmus. That's 33 meters per second. Okay, it'll be tight, but we can still do it. We can absolutely still do it. I'm guessing the points are gone again, says Looney700. Possibly. Certainly aren't generating any. Well, the bot's not here, Noah. Pawn, check the box of your graphics card for HDMI adapters, says Looney700. Yeah, it's a very convoluted setup in order to get it. Like, I'll explain it to you if you really want. If you don't want to play Kerbal, I'll sit here and talk to you all day about my, my monitor, Samsung SyncMaster 245BW that only takes DVI-D. So I could DVI-D to something else, but I have this set up currently to come out of a DisplayPort, and the DisplayPort has a DisplayPort to DVI-D adapter cable running between it, so I can't use that. I got multiple HDMI cables, but the HDMI that's coming out of this box at the outside, that HDMI needs to go to a DVI-D in order to go into this monitor. So I need a DVI-D to HDMI adapter, and then I got the HDMI to go into here. On the other side, I can take the HDMI out, but I don't want it to go into the HDMI port because that's reserved for the Vive. So I need an HDMI to a to a DisplayPort adapter on that side. And then, because I'm running a KVM now, so that I can run two computers on one thing, I also needed like all these adapters for the keyboard because this is a PS2 keyboard, and that's a USB thing. So for the KVM and the USB, I needed a PS2 to KVM, and it turns out the PS2 to USB adapters don't necessarily do it because you need an active. It needs to have a chip in it, and some of them don't, and some of them do. So I ordered one, and that one wasn't right, and then I had to reorder, and so I got another one that's coming in. It's going to be here in like 2 days, and I go to the Micro Center and get some more adapters. I have a box of crap, and I do not have what I need in order to make all of this work the way that it needs to work. It's going to cost me yet another like 20 bucks. It's nickel and diming me on this project. But once it's done, good God, I hope it works. What are you doing, Pawn? We're going out there for 33 meters per second. Give me Minmus as my focused view so that I can see what our periapse is actually doing. We're coming down. It doesn't really matter which side we come by on, but I prefer to come by on a different side than that. I pull you up to about equatorial. I take a whole lot off in the terms of the prograde, which is now costing us 40 and some. I would like to come around this side. Periapse at 35 kilometers, and then something like that. We're looking at 41 meters per second Delta V, more or less. 41, 42, maybe 43. So if we do 43 minus the 396 we have, then that's somewhere, it's somewhere around 350. And then 350 is 30 more than we need to land on Minmus successful. Jeez. We can do it! We can do it! PS2 keyboard. Did you find your keyboard in the basement when you bought your house? I've been a computer repair guy I was anyway, before I went to the Zen Center and became a Buddhist monk. Before then, I was a computer repair guy, so at one point I had a box of PS2 keyboards just stacked up. Now I have 2 left. I'm very used to this keyboard. I don't want a new keyboard because, you know, I'm used to this. And I have another keyboard that's very similar to this one. Same layout. They're big, they're old, they're chunky. They're not like, you know, cool mechanical keyboards or something, but they're the way that I want it. They got that same, like, big numlock center with the 6 home insert buttons at the right spot, and my fingers know where to go. I don't want to have to add anything, you know, more to my setup, or more to my mind, actually, what I don't want to do. We might be able to save Delta V if we left it at a slightly different time, you know? If I left a little bit earlier, then I might be able to put less, might be able to change our prograde less. Does that work? You end up having to put more on in terms of that. So the further out you get, the better it's going to be for your inclination. Don't keep moving backwards now. Don't switch over to the other side of things. Oh God, Kerbal. Just zoom out, zoom up here, drag it. Yeah, that's exactly the opposite of the direction that I'm dragging that. But, you know, good on you, Kerbal, for doing you. Just do you, bae. Just do you. If I leave further along there, yeah, I kind of had, like, the ideal spot, didn't I? You did, Pawn. You did. Well, I've changed it, haven't I? You have, Pawn. You have. Yeah, it's going to cost you 41, no matter whether you leave slightly after or slightly before, so you're not going to save us a whole lot by doing this tinkering and tweaking. Well, we're already here now, so now I have to. Required by law. Ideally, we want to make sure that we come up here with a bit of an angle to the equator, so that we can be coming, because our base is a little bit higher than the equator, so we don't want to be perfectly equatorial if we're trying to scrounge and save for every morsel of Delta V that we have in order to get this done without running out just before landing, which is entirely possible. Yeah. And then you gotta try and land this thing. I was planning, like, oh, I don't exactly know how to land it, because, you know, look at the craft. Okay, well, don't look at the craft or else you'll have a seizure. Jesus, God. Tracking station. Hang on. Hang on. My keyboard's about 10 years old, and the only thing that could ever replace it is an identical one, but with mechanical keys, says GP. This is how I feel, I'm just, you know, I'm married to it at this point. I don't want a new keyboard if I don't have to. You know, I'm going to wait until I'm forced to buy a USB. I'm not going to do it because, you know, when I could buy an adapter for about half the price of a USB keyboard. It's going to be like $7 or $8. And you can get really cheap USB keyboards for about that price. Which is wrong. Don't buy those. But yeah, I'd rather... Plus, that gives me the option. If this one dies and I've got an adapter that turns a PS2 keyboard into a usable USB one, well, I got another one. And I don't have to buy another keyboard till that one dies. So, yeah. What are you doing, Pawn? You're leaving for Minmus. You're on your way out. You've still got this maneuver node. It's all set up. What were you doing? I was looking at the ship and saying... I had just assumed that we were going to have a bunch more Delta V than we needed for landing on Minmus, and so I didn't think, like, trying to land this ridiculous craft was going to be an issue. Now that we're going to be down to, like, 30 meters per second for, you know, maneuvers and stuff like that, trying to land this thing is going to be an issue now. This is not a mission that anyone would go forward with if they weren't the Ronin Pawn. They'd say, no, it's too tight. It's probably not possible. You're going to get to the surface of Minmus. You're going to barely land it with the last ounce of Delta V that you've got, and then you'll be down on Minmus. You won't have any... Will I not have anything in here? Am I burning the monoprop out of here as well? Have I already burned all the monoprop out of it? That thing needs to have some of its own monoprop or else we're screwed. So I need to be able to transfer a couple of shreds of monoprop into that when we get to Minmus. Whew. Guys? Cheer 5. Ah! New Mexico! Says Rex. Ah, NM? What's an NM? What are you talking about? What's the TWR on the roller? Could you leave it in Minmus orbit and then land it independently? I was about to F9 and wait for Minmus to be in the right position so that we wouldn't have to spend as much Delta V in order to get to it. And, you know, we wouldn't need a big inclination change the way we need for this. Which is probably also a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. F9, back to when we just got in orbit, but before we burned out to Minmus, and we will instead do what I should have done in the first place. I was like, it's gonna take too long. We got 1,600 meters per second of Delta V. That's wrong, isn't it? Maybe our, like, engines occluded or something? We need 900 and some to get out to Minmus. That should leave me with, you know, 400, 500 meters per second of delta V. Should leave me with, yeah, 700 even. 600 anyway. It should leave me with a lot more than 300 in what we had left to burn to Minmus's just getting in its neighborhood. Is there something wrong with these engines? Are we a little bit occluded or something? I mean, that one looks a little bit occluded, doesn't it? Yeah, it kind of does. Yeah, it definitely does, in fact. Maybe I was burning and it wasn't doing anything on this engine at all because of the way that this is attached, the way that it's blocking stuff. That's gotta be it. Because I should have had, at 1600 delta V, I should have had way more delta V once we got out there. That's why I was like, just assuming this will go good. But because I've got this part in the line of the thrust cone of that engine, I will bet for that entire burn that engine wasn't doing anything more than maybe stabilizing us a little bit so that we were still burning prograde. In fact, I wonder if I've got enough gimbal on this, enough reaction torque, if I just shut down that engine and then burn for prograde from you. Let's get into the right position so we're leaving for Minmus at the right time. When its inclination is 0 to where we're leaving from, or close at least, just in case I can't make this better for some reason. Yeah, that's gotta be it, Pawn. It's gotta be something like that. Are you still set as my target, Minmus? Set you as my target. Okay, and F5 me, and then actually take me back to the tracking station, and let's get Minmus in the right position for us to leave for it. What's the word again? We told you, Pawn, says Lodi 700. Did you? Because I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. Last live stream, some people said that, you know, those engines are going to be occluded, and then they weren't. You don't get to roll those over. Why not just undock, flip the middle section, and then redock and go as usual, says Savvy Downs. Could do that too. Kind of curious now. That was the first thought that I had, but these things are also, like, connected in a certain kind of line. It'll be easier once we get down on the surface. I didn't want to mess with it because I hadn't thought about that. I put a lot of thought into how I would get this up here and make it work, before we even started the live stream. Like, the last time we did Kerbal, I did. And, you know, you start changing things on the fly, and then you get exactly where I am right now. Because I always change things on the fly, don't I? Let's get Minmus to coming down over here is where we're looking for you to be, Mr. Minmus. So, time warp me in orbit. We've got pilots and we've got satellites. So, holy crap. Minmus, you're going to take a coon's age to get there. Okay, we'll just do it, Pawn. I'm always, you know, loath to actually pass time in this game for some reason. And I need to get over that in my head. Jiggly. It's jiggly. I need to get over that in my head because, honestly, 90% of space travel is waiting for windows, isn't it? Isn't it, kind of? You're always waiting for the optimal time to leave because you don't want to waste that delta V that, you know, it took you up. And that's the real world, and I hate moving time forward in the game because I guess I still, you know, I'm in game mode in my mind, where it's like, I don't want to just let the world sit there and do whatever it's doing. Where are you? So, okay, yeah, you got quite a bit more time you need to go there, Pawn. Spinner to winner. Wait until Minmus comes around. I could focus on the planet so that it doesn't wobble like that, but I kind of like the wobble. Wobble, wobble, wobble. Wobble, wobble, wobble. Oh no, I needed to plan for this to leave a little bit early, and then so Minmus needed to be back here. It's okay, we're better off than we were before. Minmus's mum drilling repairer. It's all about, like, waiting for your windows, and I never do that, because I'm like, screw it, we'll probably be fine. And then we always get here, where we are most definitely not fine, and then I start talking while I'm waiting for my window, and then I miss my window. It'll probably be fine. Prograde. Get on your prograde and figure out the next spot where you're going to leave for the Mr. Minmuses. Minmus is over there, so yeah, we're going to be late to him. but it'll be a much better scenario than we had before anyway. We need to go around the planet one more time, and we'll just leave when it's coming over the horizon pawn. You gonna do that again? Just in case. I don't think we shouldn't be tight for fuel. We really shouldn't be, but we were. And I think you figured out why there, buddy. Yeah, probably I did. But I'm gonna try and do this with the maneuver node anyway. So, presuming it's gonna be around there, I apwaps out to the general vicinity of Minmus, and yeah, we might have saved 12 Delta V for the reversion and everything else. In the long run, you know, we might have saved a couple of microns of Delta V. So if you're there, then coming over there, maybe we leave a little bit earlier. You know, can I get an inclination showing, aha, so that's when you want to go. Right there, when those ticks are just right one above the other. That's when you'll leave, pawn. Full prograde burn until you get out there for 926.6 meters per second. Minus 1600 should leave me with 700. A little bit less than 700 meters per second. F5 from here. Take me around to that maneuver. And I've got one of the engines disabled. We'll just see, is what we'll do. We'll just see if that works. I could rotate it so that it probably wouldn't occlude that engine, and we might end up doing that. In fact, stop me here, F5 me from here. This is a good point to do the rotation and the and the everything if we need to. But let's just see about burning one engine instead of the other. In fact, if we're burning one engine instead of the other, I might need to start burning prograde a lot earlier than I think. We're a minute out from our node right now, so I'm just going to hold prograde, and I'm going to burn one engine. Oh, why are you running? Shut down the engine. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Give me an F9 back to that one, and we'll try the rotation thing. It's just we might rotate and still have something occluded, and it's Kerbal, man, you know? You can never really know what's going on until you finish the burn and go, why am I missing 400 meters per second? So decouple the node. I do need to kind of do this a little bit quickly. Decouple the node, and then which way are you going to spin, pawn? In order to make sure that your engines aren't occluded. Like that, and then R, and N, and then nice, come on. Tell me that you know, went far enough away for the magnets to work again. Looks like you didn't. Son of a biscuit. Alright, push away, and then come back. Okay, we're reattached in a position where the engines should be less occluded, hopefully. Get on your prograde, because you're coming up with your RCS. Wasting it. You got a lot to waste. Yeah, theoretically, I mean, if this friggin' works. Node in 1 minute. Estimated burn of 1 minute and 1 second. Okay. All the engines are enabled. We're ready to go. We will leave at T-minus 35 or something like that. I like to give myself a little bit of wiggle room. GP said, Jebediah Kerman just stated that the launch button is on his desk at all times. Will someone from his depleted and food-starved civilization please inform him that I too have a launch button, but it is much bigger and more powerful than his, and my button works. I never said that. Don't quote. Oh crap, you distracted me. Don't quote me, boy. I ain't said. And immediately the estimated burn goes up to 2 minutes instead. You prick. You prick. I'm gonna burn a little bit higher, a little bit more toward the sky then, if we got a 2-minute burn. Yeah, I'm gonna have to burn up there. Jesus God. Ronan Pawn, did you ever get the chance to have the opportunity to have the time to read the comment about KS3P mod? Says GP. No. No, I didn't hear anything back about that. I was having trouble with that mod, possibly because it doesn't like Scatterer. I don't know, that was just a guess of mine. But it wasn't working on my system. And I asked, you know, if anybody figures that out, let me know. What was the comeback on that, GP Twitch? Because this KS3P mod, if you are a Kerbal player, man, you want to go look at that right now. It adds post-processing visual effects to Kerbal. And I've actually had something similar to it installed a while ago that wasn't designed for Kerbal, but you could make it work on the Unity engine. But it was a frame rate killer, which I had enough power to run it, but not enough to live stream it and run it. This one apparently is a fair bit more efficient, and it makes the game really, really beautiful. Plus, as it gets more and more developed, because it's very recent, you're going to see more profiles for it that are going to give you options for changing the way everything looks. It looks like something really fun. I'd definitely like to have it as one of my visual pack mods here, but I was having trouble with it. What was the word? Back on, getting that thing working. Well, if it isn't my brave pilot, GP. Hello, Mosaic Task Force. Still not dead. What if the world needs a nuclear war? Restart Genesis. A new beginning. Pawn, can we get some historical context on that patio building video you did? No, you can't, because you're just trying to distract me. You're just trying to distract me. Okay, we're definitely a little bit late on this, which being late on one side makes you early on the other, kind of. But I've got what we needed to get out here, and we're at 360 meters per second of Delta V again. This is less than we had last time. We had 390. What is going on, man? Are these more occluded now than before? See, that's the thing, is I can't test it. I can't know, because sometimes you can get away with this, and we did last time, and I tried to do something that was pretty similar to what we were doing last time, and now I'm wasting Delta V. Delta V map, we started with 1600 meters per second of Delta V showing. Over here, how much does that say? Huh? What's the number written there? Because I can't see it. 930. Minus 1620 is what we started with. It's 700. It's 700 is what that is. Not 360. Are they doing some of the work, but not all of the work? Are my Delta V readings incorrect, and then suddenly they switch over? Other people have a lot more faith in this game, and they'd be like, it's probably this. Me, I'm sitting here going, I have no clue whatsoever what could be the issue. I mean, I do have ideas, but none of them are necessarily true. Pawn, we get an ETA on that module you're launching, because we're getting impatient down here, says GP Twitch. Oh, you're on the service? Well, help me. Help me figure out why my engines are leaving like 300 meters per second in Delta V in space that they shouldn't be, and we'll get her down there. Crossfeed Wibbly, says Xavier Downs? Crossfeed Wibbly? We're burning liquid fuel. No, the monoprop is in there, 10.85, which means all the others contain 10.85, and there's a bunch of them stacked in there. We are draining all of the fuel out of the rear end first. Fuel is fuel, man, especially in space. I don't... Yeah. Are we there yet, says Triflist? Where the hell is, Groggles and where are the people who I usually yell at for knowing everything about Kerbal Space Program? This is not good. This is not working. And it could be occlusion, but in the past when I've had, like, occlusion issues, it hasn't been, percentage-wise. They've just been either occluded or not occluded. And maybe that's just been how I've been building. Can anyone confirm the idea that if you partially occlude an engine, you will get a partial efficiency out of it? Might I be able to monitor that while I'm burning? Specific impulse 250, thrust 0.0, and then burn hard. And I'm showing 20. 20 is what these are supposed to produce each. Fuel flow is 2.03. I don't know. And then specific impulse still shows us 250, so that's not giving me any information about why we're not getting there. Maybe you should give Zephyr and Kopgren a call, because this whole thing, this whole getting to Minmus thing is taking too long. If you don't have any help for me, then don't get on my balls about it not going well. Maybe your DV calculator thinks those docking ports are staging. I've got F9 one way or the other. Let's look at that, Xavier Downs. Let's look at that. Does it think that there's any more DV left in here? We've already detached this a couple of times. Let's go ahead and detach it and see what we get. When I undock you, we go from 16 something to 1607 because we left monoprop in there that we were using before. And then when I back up to it, by the way, which direction is that going to be? No. With the RCS on, RCS is on, it's going to be this way. This way. Back up to it. Link back up. Back up to 1616. No, I don't think it's lying. I mean, it could just be wrong, I suppose, but this is very rare. I've never seen this wrong. Have I never seen this wrong? I don't know. If I've seen it wrong, I don't even remember it. Just use the smaller thrusters. ISP is almost identical, says Looney700. The smaller thrusters for prograde. I don't have any on that are pointed in the right direction. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. See, because I used linear ports for here in order to save mass, because I made the... This is a lovely craft, but apparently it's... I have to assume it's the engines at this point. I can't come up with any other thing. I do have thrusters here, but they're off at a wonky angle because the Minmus roller is built at a wonky angle, because that's how it works. Is there another place I could rotate these engines? I mean, you look as clear as you get, burning like that. Maybe we do just, try running one engine for the whole burn. I might, Pawn, turn the ship retrograde and fly it backwards. That's the only way that I could do this. I'll tell you, you know how long that would take? I could actually do that because I do have this. There's my one that flies us backwards. So if I turned RCS on and did an N, all these try and fire. So I'd have to disable all of those, and then we would try and push to Minmus on one linear RCS port. What's the thrust power of a linear RCS port? You know, in reference to this, which is 20. I think this is 2, right? Yeah, 2. So if this takes us 2 minutes burn to get to Minmus, this would take us 10-minute burn to get to Minmus? Is that how you do that math? Upon rotating the middle section end over end might reduce occlusion, says Xavier Downs. Rotating the middle section end over end. Because we were assuming before that this one was being blocked, but we got more delta V burning out to the same place when it was being blocked, which would make me think that this one right now is not occluded. If it's an engine occlusion issue, I would assume that this one right now, not occluded at all, we're getting 100% performance. This one, occluded a percentage, a large percentage. It's burning out enough that we can keep straight on our prograde without needing a lot of reaction wheel torque, but we're losing a lot of delta V from it. Would be my idea. So that leaves us in the situation where, like this, if I spin it, we just spun it in such a way that those batteries were occluding both of them, and we got less delta V and it took as much to get there. This is really weird. Retrograde burn would take a long time, but that thruster definitely isn't occluded, says Redneck Gaijin. I'll tell you what, the best thing I can come up with, F9, because we were kind of in a position where we could leave. The best thing that I can come up with right now that's kind of the simplest, quickest, let's give it a try. I know we did just do, and it was, you know, going to be hell to do it. I think we turn this engine off. We shut down that engine, and then we get on our prograde. We know this burn was supposed to take us 2 minutes to get to. Our node is coming up in about 2 minutes from now on the ball. And I think we just burn from one side. I think we just try and burn from one side, and that being the case, I need like stability assist, and I need to be angled up from prograde like that, so that when we do engage it, we do engage the engine, it will be pushing us down onto our prograde bubble. That's the idea. What the hell is occlusion anyway, says GP? Yeah, obstruction. Obstruction. It just means that something is blocking the other thing. It's kind of the way that, you know, government works. they occlude what's going on there. With a minute left to burn, minute and 6, minute and 5, I'm going to start burning and I'm going to see where we land on the ball now. Yeah, you can't hold it. Son of a biscuit. If you hold prograde, if I turn RCS on and you hold prograde, you're still down the ball from it. You're burning off at a wrong angle, but I'll tell you what, Minmus is below us anyway. Minmus is below where we needed to be anyway by the time we get there, and I think we're burning in the right direction to get there. I am definitely wasting more, you know, monoprop by burning these engines. I get that by running those. But let's give it a try. Let's see what we end up with right here. Estimated burn of 4 minutes now instead of the 2 because we've only got one engine running. It's just weird. It's weird. Isn't it? Also, the audio for the engines isn't there. But you know, that's another separate glitch that Kerbal comes up with sometimes. It might just be engine occlusion, and it could be a number of other things. And I just wish that there was a way in the game to actually determine what the issue was. And that's not telling you anything. Maybe in Kerbal Engineer there is something about, you know, the vessels. You can, if I edited the vessel, and if you added the something value to the one of these, selected category orbital, selected category vessel. Okay, we got pitch, roll, heading, intake, air, suicide, burns, specific impulse, delta V current, delta V CT. What's that? Shows the vessel's current stage delta V. Okay. Specific impulse. Is that up here? Thrust, offset angle, thrust torque. Let's install specific impulse. I don't know what that doesn't, that's not telling me. 0.0 per second. Doesn't seem to be helping me out having that one there. Intake air is definitely not helpful in this. Heading, pitch, roll, heading rate, pitch, rate, roll, rate. I don't see anything in there that would help me. Will your RCS last for the full 4 minutes? Says GP. I don't know, because we're burning these, and I don't know. Plus we left, you know, not early enough for a 4-minute burn. But has it really been 2 and some minutes while I've been looking at? Probably, Pawn. Are the seconds passing at seconds rate? More or less, Pawn. Yeah. What's happening to your prograde? This is testing at this point. So we are twisting our inclination ever so slightly. It's just wasted from this angle. You're not going to get any inclination change that helps you by burning a little bit off prograde here, but it's testing is what it is. We got 600 and some meters per second remaining in the craft, and right now we should have considerably more than that. 500 and some, we just keep ending up at 300 meters per second instead of, you know, what the Delta V map says that we should. I'm going to burn it out. I'm going to burn it completely out. You know, we are burning monoprop in order to stabilize ourselves right now. And I'm curious to know whether we come up with, you know, we finished this with the 390 that we had, and the answer is no, because we just went past it. Or we finish it with the 360 that we had the other way, and the answer is no, because we just went past it. So, burning like this with some of our monoprop for stabilization to try and hold us toward the prograde ain't doing it. That ain't doing it. That's wasting even more Delta V. Okay. 30 seconds and it's over. F9. Back to before any of this started. Not gonna work. No, it's not. KSP notwithstanding. Use RCS. If you're right, you'll make more DV back from the lack of occlusion anyway. Says Zavy Downs. I am using RCS. You mean run it in reverse? Because that's pretty much all we could do at this point, is try and run this thing at reverse. I can think of no other way that we could twist things so that they wouldn't be occluded. Maybe. Ah, screw it, Pawn. Give her a go. Give her a code. Decouple that node, and then the deal is R, N, 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 N. There, slow me down so that I can see what I'm doing. R off, and then, like, if that engine is on that angle, where between two things, and that's on that angle, it just might work. So, from here go ahead and thrust me forward so that we get far enough away for the magnets to, like, reactivate, and then RCS end me backwards to get me back attached to the deal. Here. You still with us? You still more or less online? Looks like you are. Slow it down, kill the engines, kill the monoprop. Engines are now off at a weird angle, but there's more space for that. We need to be burning prograde immediately, because it's a 2-minute burn, even though it's lying about that. So 1 minute and 12 seconds. Wait, node? Oh no, we're past our time for the node. Start burning full right now. Yeah, we've lost the engine sounds. But we're burning hard, and we're burning now, and we're burning prograde. Let's give it a go. Honestly, I just love the look of this bubbly little craft, this GP. It's nice to hear somebody else say that, because that's how I feel about it, too. A little spermy craft, and it's got so much Delta V in it when the engines aren't partially occluded, if that's what's going on here. If somebody can do the Delta V math, well, it's going. I don't know, maybe you can figure out and tell us, nope, that ain't working. For example, it started at 700, we had 1,300 and something. 1,312 in the teens. So at 1,600, we should have 1,200 and something in the teens. 600, 1,200 and something in the teens. It's costing us a little bit more than I don't know. Let it play out, Vaughn. Let it play out. TWR right now is 1.02, 1.03. Just looking at, like, is there anything in here that would tell me better what the hell's going on? Something that I don't know about. I feel like something shuttle-shaped could actually be really useful in KSP. Oh, there's many. There's absolutely many shuttle things. I'm going to start burning a little bit higher now. Higher on the ball. You're coming off prograde, Pawn, because you've had so much extra Delta V. Coming off prograde to burn a little bit high because we left a little bit late, okay? Get off my nuts. My personal thought is that the Delta V calculator is glitching, but the only way to be sure is either use RCS laterally or retrograde to make the occlusion issue out of the equation. Laterally? There's a thought. There's an idea. We are already below the Delta V that we're supposed to have right now. At the same time, I get a feeling that we're going to come in a little bit better than we've ever come in before. We're just back to what we did the last time. Before the last time. We're at 390 instead of the, 360 that we were, And I still have to burn it out a little bit to get us there. It's just very wrong, isn't it? It's very wrong. And I mean, the fact that I've spun it... The fact that I've spun it would mean, if it was being partially occluded by this being in the way, or by this being in the way, we should have had reduced occlusion. We really should have had reduced occlusion by having it spun like that. And as far as these parts being in the way, Kerbal is, I don't know, maybe bounding box. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe bounding box. I was thinking these legs probably don't feature occlusion. They probably don't even bother. It's entirely possible that this doesn't even occlude. The surface scanning module. Some of these things, because they're surface mount parts, get exempted from a lot of the rules, which is what makes it so complicated to figure out when something is going wrong like this, what actually is the issue, because the rules are different from part to part. I mean, we're back at Minmus the way that we started with 392. We could just try and go for the landing. But if we're leaving Delta V in space here, we're going to be leaving it in space when we get out to Minmus. We're going to be burning less efficiently at every stage of the game, and then you just don't have the Delta V to do anything. Yeah. Yeah. Man, I did so much. I was thinking, oh, this will be so good. I'll make this craft, I'll prepare it, I'll have it ready for the live stream, and then, when it's time for the stream, we'll just get in there and fly the mission. It'll be funner than, sitting there and building a whole craft for an hour. Which I enjoy, and I think most of you enjoy as well, sitting there building a craft for an hour. It's fun. But, I thought this would be an exciting one. We just get up here and... No, we just spent the whole time, trying to figure out whether Kerbal is doing what it's supposed to be doing, whether it's glitching, whether the mods are glitching. For this craft to have 1600 Delta V at this point doesn't seem unrealistic. We dragged the whole, when we got up to orbit the last time, We had 1,500 meters per second in Delta V left in a similar tow ship, but instead of towing just these couple of lightweight objects we got behind us, we were towing a whole drilling platform. A whole drilling platform, and all of the weight. This is nowhere near the weight of that whole drilling platform, let me tell you. So for us to have 1,600 meters per second seems right. I don't think it's this glitching out and showing me more Delta V than I actually have, and then, you know, we're catching up to reality. I think that's right. 1,600 is very reasonable, for the efficiency of that craft. That said, let's try sending this thing to Minmus laterally, I guess. F9 me back before. Put it on its side, and then I sit here and I hold J the whole time or something. Or we just go backwards spawn. Get on your retrograde. Get on your because I'm not going to have any extra thrusters. If I try and use any of these, they're going to be off axis. It's going to screw me over. So disable RCS on everything that isn't the one that I want to burn. RCS disabled, disabled, disabled. Where's the other version of you? That's you. Disable you. Any others that I'm not aware of that might get in the way? RCS N. Okay, we're on retrograde and we're pushing for it right now. We have no estimated burn time and it's going to take for flippin' ever. I'm going to have to do this in multiple, like, passes, which means Minmus is going to change his position every time we do it. It's a horrible way to, but I don't know. We're just trying to test at this point, right? We're at 4 times Fizz Warp to try and make this happen a little bit quicker. But here we go. Passing by our node now, having started from like back there, and then about here would be the time where we'd have to stop burning and then take it to the other side and do it again. Like, we can't even do this. This is just, the testing is going to kill me. The testing is going to be just awful. Absolutely awful. F9. Let's move some monoprop around and see if the Delta V doesn't change. That would get, you know, if the Delta V starts changing when we move monoprop from one side of things to the other side of things. Well, there's already nothing in this F9, in this save, huh? Where's the monoprop that's on you then? You can tell me you're not storing any monoprop on you? Well, then all the monoprop is already in the place where it's going to be burning from. How did we already burn out that monoprop? Apparently you used it to get orbit. Okay, and we dug into that in order to get orbit. Fair enough. I got no solutions here. Imagine being a Kerbal and being stuck in a tiny little capsule for a month. Infinifuel? KSP is messing you around. Why not mess it around, says Zavy Downs. What the hell has happened to our thermal control system small? I think, Zavy, you're on, you got a point there. I think for the sake of carrying on with the live stream and not fighting what appears to be Kerbal Space Program being, you know, a bitch, I think we just go. And what the hell happened with you? Partially deployed radiator. Cool. Now you might be really occluding, because that is going down really slow. Might I have made these problems, not, you know, not my fault, but might this have something to do with that? Might this be like an F9ing glitch kind of thing? Entirely possible. Oh, that might do it. Does KSP occlusion know that the radiator's closed? Alright, let's F9 one more time. And let's pop that radiator open and closed. You know? Let's experiment with that, Zavy. Yeah. It's an idea. You really ought to give them some more room, says GPS. The engines? I mean, this craft wasn't designed to tow this. It's just my favorite craft and I want it up there. Let's extend the radiator and then retract the radiator. Okay? And then get on prograde. We're a minute out from when we're supposed to burn, or a minute 47 out from when we're supposed to burn. Things, I'm gonna go with this because this was the most fuel that we ever got. I'm not sure that that even counts as something that could occlude something. It probably does. Yeah. Should have looked harder at that. Well, no, because I spun this stuff, didn't I? Yeah, I probably left that included. That's something I would do. Give me a little bit more, and then we're supposed to have about a 2-minute burn, so start burning prograde right now. Yeah, it's still a little late for that burn, because it turns out to be 2 minutes and 10 seconds, not just 2 minutes. Maybe burn at 25% thrust and see if it's more efficient. I don't want to. I don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. I mean, I could, and then I could, like, 4 times fizz warp it, and then it would take exactly as long as this is going. Ain't nobody got time for that. I think the Infinifuel is where we're going with this. We're going to take this mission as far as we can get it on the fuel that it actually has, and then when we get there, because God knows, and we find out that we don't have enough Delta V in order to finish something off, flick, and we go into cheaty mode and carry on with the Delta V that we're supposed to have. Because that's the right amount of Delta V. We should have 1600 Delta V from where we are and where we're going and what we're doing. We really should. And, you know, it's probably an occlusion issue, but we've run it, we've twisted it around into all the different positions where it really shouldn't be occluded, or where, you know, it should be less occluded, and we keep getting these inconsistent results. So I'm just doing what I'm doing, yo. Looks good on the fuel, especially if you can just refill your tanks with F9. It's the F9 just quick reverts me to that point every time. Let's go ahead and just finish this out. We're now at the 700 meters per second of Delta V that we should have by the end of this, and we still have a 200 meter per second burn. So these two numbers are not draining, or not locking up, or not syncing up. I still have to assume it's engine occlusion, because that's what I did wrong with it. But, you know, I just would have expected different results when we started doing the things that we were doing there. When we started testing the way we were testing, and, you know, spinning things around, occluding less. All those things I would have figured I would get different results. That's a pretty good spot for the AppWaps to be before we make our inclination changes. We're at the same sort of 390, 400 meter per second level that we were before. We'll roll out to about here, and we'll add a maneuver node, and then we will, that's a little bit far, Pawn. Pull it back, no, alright, just build it in the place that you want it. I want it kind of halfways between, and then we'll do our inclination correction, which should be down, which means I'm going to need a view of Minmus, so I can see where our periapse really is and what it's really doing. Well, we do that. Get you down onto something equatorial, put a little bit more prograde on to bring you in. And periapse of 65 kilometers, I want it good and low. Good and low. 10 kilometers or so? That's going to be too much. Take it off, because then I'm going to drag it up, and you're going to get closer by virtue of being more on the equator. Didn't want it perfectly equatorial, but then again, probably going to have to make adjustments later. That looks good. That looks good. Let's take it from there. Take me up to my next maneuver. Just sit back here and watch as the ship zips on up to there. And then we'll burn on this node. This burn estimates a second. Is all that it's supposed to take. Get down on our target. And in some amount of seconds, we will do that thing. You always need wait a second. Shame you can't power the thing with electric engines, because then you'd have a fuel source you can regenerate, says GPS Twitch. And then, ion engines are close to that, says Looney700, but as far as we know, you always need some form of propellant. Unless that microwave engine works. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about. Okay, burn it, 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 burn it. There we go. Slowly but surely bring... Oh, wait! You're gonna miss this. You need to be burning up here now. Okay. Beyond that. And periapse is... Our actual periapse at 13 kilometers. Okay, and that's going to avoid me no matter where I go, so I'm just gonna burn here. Yeah, I overshot. Push a little N out, and we've got an actual periapse of 7.3. Good. 0.0 meters per second remaining that needs to be burned. We have 373 meters per second delta V still remaining in the tanks. This is doable. I just don't know how it took me all that delta V to get out here. I mean, because that looks like a reasonable delta V reading. But maybe it was sucking a little bit off. I lost 200 delta V in the course of a burn of... Whatever, go ahead and warp yourself up here. You're going to need to get yourself a, you know, an orbit of Minmus. You have to close up this circularization. Solar sails also work, but KSP, and even the modded ones are difficult to use. Any new news, incidentally, from anyone who follows those sorts of things? Any new news on that microwave engine that they were testing because multiple labs had sort of, you know, figured out that, hey, somehow this is working. This shouldn't work, but somehow this is working. At least that was their early evidence. Any, like, reports back on the continued testing? I'm going to start burning retrograde now, because we're coming up on that periapse fast. And we've lost the periapse. Burning that retrograde down. Apwab's coming down. Slowly, 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 please, at this point. There you go. Bring me on down. Wait a second. Do you need to change your inclination? No. No, this is good. We'll wait for a prime opportunity to do it right. But go ahead and drop this. Drop this as far down as we can. We want 7 and 7, I guess, is what we're going for. We're going to be left with 150 meters per second of delta V. A little bit less than that. And then we're going to go out to the map and find out that's exactly what you need, Pawn. And don't have anymore. 14 kilometers. Can I waste some more of this delta V that we're going to have to, like, you know, remake for ourselves anyway? Pull the periapse back up to me, using a little bit of that, and then burn retro. And get us something that's more circular. There we go. 7.5 with 122 meters per second of delta V. And when we look at the map, landing on Minmus only takes 180. So we'll be fine. So weird. So weird. Probably engine occlusion, but I just would have been more confident in that if when I, you know, de-occluded the engine, if they worked right, you know? Or if we had a change anyway. We kept showing up at 390. When I got both of the engines into a state that looked like both of them would be less occluded but occluded equally, we came up here with 360 on a similar burn. It just looks like it's hitting 390 every single time no matter what I do there. Which is weird. When is the human race going to figure out warp drives, says GP Twitch? First we're going to have to do micro black holes, and, you know, someday. Just an hour, my journeys to Elu took like 45 minutes. Burns with nuclear engines, says Looney 700. That's one way to go. Nobody knows. Did I miss it? Has anybody talked about that? NASA has some results that indicate that it is working somehow, but those results are nervous, says AV Downs. That's the last I heard, too. So what they have is they've got an engine some people tested where the concept is you talk about an engine where you don't need fuel and you just have electricity. Microwaves. So I don't know how. It seems like one of those perpetual energy breaking the laws of thermodynamics things, but the idea is that you've got a very weird shaped kind of, it's a straw tube that goes around in a coil kind of deal, and I mean somebody came up with this, so they thought maybe this will work even though it seems like it violates the laws of thermodynamics. By bouncing microwaves through the thing, because of its shape, the idea is that the energy of those microwaves gets transmitted in a certain direction on the retrograde, much more than when it bounces back on the prograde. So you get positive energy in one direction, even though it's a closed system. Even though the microwaves are in there and so you're creating energy, and because they're just microwaves, you're generating it with electricity exclusively, which means theoretically you put this engine that doesn't need fuel in space with the solar panel, and that's its only fuel, and you generate constant fuel from the sun, and it's not a lot of delta V that it creates, it's not a lot of forward momentum that it makes, but in space, you know, you just set something up there and you let it tool up for 3, 4, 5 years, and it just keeps going faster and faster and faster, and it's all about leaving at the right time window, or, you know, window if you want to get somewhere with something like that. But that's the whole concept, is basically infinifuel, which is what we're about to do right here. We're going to hack the game, because hacking the game is scientific now. We're using nuclear gravioli electron microwaves. That's what we're using. We need a new way of propulsion. Trump could use it for nuclear weapons, says Looney 700. Yeah, you know what? We should try and sell Trump on this idea. The one that takes, like, you know, 2 decades to get anywhere. He hits the button, boom! And then it's like, did it launch? Technically, yes, sir! It's on its way now! We'll let you know! Look, eventually we're gonna have to be able to get someplace and sometime, says GP. Yeah, we'll get there. Or we won't. You know, doesn't matter. What's humanity worth? Not a lot, if you ask me. Oh, crap! I didn't realize we were that far off of, We're good, we're good. Our periaps, one side is close enough to there. Okay, we will eventually have an encounter with that. I didn't realize we were that far off of the equator. But no, I hit it perfect. I hit it perfect. Give me an F5 from here. We're sticking with this, and we are going to cheat the game for the fuel that we need, because the game is cheating me out of an crap. Also, I didn't mean to do that. Is that... Do I need to then burn... What did I... You need to just burn the opposite direction there, Pawn. There you go. Circular. Doesn't matter. Fuel is infinite. We've just found out. F5. Before you do anything. I was going to pull up the cheat menu, but that means holding down Shift in order to... Does it? Can you just control Alt F12? You can. No need for Shift. I'm going to need a little bit of infinifuel from you. So cheats. Cheats. Hack gravity. Ignore max temp. Infinite propellant. Yes. That's what we're going to need from here on out, because we're not going to land Minmus on 120. We need 180 by the map, and for the landing that I'm going to need to do, we need more like probably 250 or 300 even. Which we would have had if the damn ship was doing what it should do. Pawn, even cooler is the Q drive. Basically takes electrons out of the... Are you burning? No, but you've got that. It's son of a biscuit, Mother Teresa. Even cooler is the Q drive. Basically takes electrons out of the infinite quantum soup and then fires them out the back, whereupon they disappear back into said quantum soup. Apparently that also works in a vacuum and only requires electricity, says AV Downs. Yeah, that's if I recall correctly, I'm not saying it's not real, a theoretical engine that relies on the, what seems to be the mathematical evidence, but not observed. You know, it's nothing that we've observed, but mathematically it helps things make sense when you're looking out at the world, or looking out at the universe. The theory of the way that quantum particles behave, which I believe is based somewhat upon how black holes would have to behave in order to be doing what we see them doing. They have to be able to lose energy, and the way that they lose energy is that quanta or something like that, some subparticle kind of thing, that energy that you're talking about in the Q drive blips out of existence, blips in and out of existence sometimes. So just it usually does this so quickly that you can't actually get any, you know, you can't push against it. But we've also seen plate tectonics. The math doesn't work out for plate tectonics either, the way that the continents shift and the drift and stuff like that, and they propose that the reason why that also has to do with these particles that are basically blipping in from another dimension, you know, for a moment out of time, and then they're gone. Infinitesimally small to where they don't usually have any effect on anything, but on mass and on a system that you're judging, you know, over time and stuff like that, you get bad data. You get, like, the math doesn't work out, and you go, why doesn't the math work out? And based on, like, you know, quantum physics, as well as, you know, retroactively kind of going, what would help the math work here? How much energy do we need? They've worked up the concept of these particles that blip in and out of existence from another reality. So that engine tries to push on those particles as it goes. You know, those particles that are constantly blipping in and out of existence, it tries to just push off against them a little bit, because they're inside the craft, and you're sort of using them as your fuel to push off of, and they blip out of existence before they can, like, bounce off of, you know, the other side of a closed system and negate the energy that you've created in the direction that you were going in. It's friggin' crazy, man, and I don't entirely understand it, but, you know, I've had it explained to me, and this is how information gets disseminated. Some kid on the internet hears something, and he's like, this is how it works. And then he passes it on, and then somebody else hears it, you know, the way that he said it, and then makes their own changes to it. And then eventually, you know, you get, there's a man in the sky, has a beard, and he loves us all. And, but he also sends us to hell if we do bad. And all he wants is our perfect love and service for him, but also, he would have to be, you know, he's a peaceful entity that doesn't desire anything, because if he has desire, then he's not peaceful. Desire is the opposite of peace. So he wants us to do things, but he wants it for us to do for us. And his arch nemesis, is this guy who he lets run the planet, even though he's not, he wasn't, and he's a fallen angel, and he's not, so that's how you get there, basically, is some kid on the internet starts talking about the Q drive, and he thinks he knows something. It's high-level physics. F I know, says Avy Downs. Quantum is interchangeable with magic most of the time, and the physics remains about as accurate, says Avy Downs. Yes, kind of. A lot of quantum physics is wholly theoretical. Wholly, like, built on math that makes sense to people who, you know, study these things all of the friggin' time, their entire lives. Where am I going again? You're going to here, Pawn. Move the game forward a little bit. Set as the target. You said you had places to be. I do. Places to be and people to kill. Trump. And, I need to just let Minmus revolve for a while. In fact, we're going to have to do this from tracking mode. Aren't we? Going to have to do this from tracking mode. Take me back out to the tracking station. Yeah, so much of quantum physics is basically theoretical. It's just in the books, basically. You know, there's nothing that we can observe directly. There's no test that we can do on it to, like, give ourselves evidence to back it up. All we can do is observe very large processes and then do the math and say, what numbers would we need to fit into this hole to, like, make our math work? Because our math isn't working right now. Not, like, down to these decimal points we're looking for. Something's off on this behavior. So what amount of energy is changing it? And then start lobbing darts at what could be the source of that energy based on the other things that we think we know. It's real damn complicated. What are you doing, Pawn? I'm going out to Minmus. I'm focusing Minmus. I'm figuring out which is our ship. That's us. We're on the yellow line, and we want to go to here. Yeah, we're on the yellow line, so we need that to move around to here, is what we're looking for. Okay, so spin me up some time and let the planet, or the moon, rather, revolve. And we're waiting for our base to come into what is sadly going to be the dark side of Minmus when we get to it. Is this going to be the loop? This might be the loop. Give me a little bit more speed. Time warp of 100. If I go another one... Yeah, this is going to be the loop. This is the one we're going to come down on. And we're going to have to do it in the dark side. It's okay. We got electric resources. I built a very good craft in the Pilgrim. You know, wasn't designed specifically for this mission, so it's having some problems towing something that's apparently occluding its engines is our guess. Because all we can really do is reverse engineer the math and then throw darts at the issue. From back here. Oh, you should have done it from back there, because you're going to need an inclination change. Fuel is infinite. Who cares? I know what space looks like. I don't know what being tied to a chair by VR babes looks like, says GP. What? You want a Vive and then somebody suggests... I wonder if we will ever have gravity in space without a stupid big gravity ring, says GPS. That's one of the, the things that is most often complained about by realists in sci-fi stuff, is that it's always just sort of handled, you know? It's always like, you know, we've got gravity plating. What are you even talking about? You're gonna generate gravity? Okay, Vaughn, you need to be playing the game. Do I? Yeah, get on your stability assist. You need to burn over... No, you need to burn over... No, you were right. You need to burn in that direction, and you need to be pushing hard with your... Okay, right now we've got 30.2 units of monoprop. Keep your eye on that, because it's not going to change, because we're hacking the game. Go ahead and push me. Push me. Whoa. Whoa, that did not take a lot of burn at all to get us online with the target. Will you zoom in? To get us online with our target. I wonder if we could have made it on 120 meters per second in altitude. No, the math definitely doesn't work on that one. Oh. Okay. How are we doing on this being there? Yeah, I want you to go ahead and burn on the retrograde. Burn, 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 burn. Get me, our final descent, you know, our landing position. The end of this line, I want it just a bit past where we're going. So that while I'm slowing down, for my final landing, you know, I can work it out. I will have enough room in order to shave the speed that we need to shave and still come down at the base that we're trying to come down at. So we're getting very close to it now. Can't we have a space hotel looking like the ISS? We're going to have that in this series, people. I know it's one of those days where it's like, I don't know that you're ever going to get anything done in this series. But we're going to have that in this series. I am, in the new year here, my big thing is I want to do a good tourist program. That's what I'm on to now. That's what I'm about. Burn like this, pawn. Burn off your lateral speed. There you go. Now we've got more up and down. We've got our descent speed is all that we're worried about right now. And I have a small issue now that I'm here. And that is that I didn't really plan a way to land this. You go ahead and F5 from here. Didn't really plan a way to land this. I will deploy the landing gear. Don't talk to me about science right now. Thank you. Deploy the landing gear. We have 46.6 meters per second to scrub. Scrub some of it immediately, my friend. There you go. 20-some point some meters per something something is what we have now. Burn a little bit like that. Okay, I'm just trying to push my retrograde back over more toward the base. I'm basically just going to try and set down and then fall over is the plan here. 12 meters per second to scrub. 8 meters per second to scrub. I need my RCS on so that I can negate the kind of movements that I got right now. And then. Yep. And then we're down. Engines are off. Oh, well, RCS and push away. Push away from that. Push away if you don't want to break those things. There we go. We've landed on the wheels, which is why we're rolling. It works. It's a good landing. It's Minmus, man. You can get away with almost anything. All right, Pawn. You did good there, and you managed to. How much delta? How much monoprop? 30.22 we got now after that burn. Good work, huh? Very efficient, I would say. F5 from here. Bring the cheat menu back up. Turn off the infinite propellant. I didn't have time in my life to figure that one out today. Just didn't care. Look at you. You're still drilling. Will you stop rolling, please? You're gonna break everything. They're all gonna laugh at you. Don't turn the SAS off, but slowly, carefully, lower us down. Lower us down like so. Game is really like several like little chuggy moments that we've been having here. I like how the desktop computer terminals in TNG are basically just a flat 80s Macintosh. No, they're not. They're beautiful blacklit black panels. Blacklit? Blacklit. It's combined. It's quicker to say is what it is. So how do you want to detach this then, Pawn? I think the way I wanted this well, I'm going to F5. I think I want to do this, and I don't think anything will explode. So decouple the node. When you fall, I mean, it's friggin' Minmus, buddy. And then I'll just roll you up and onto your nose. And then over, stand you back up. God, I love this little craft. And I got 2 of them on the surface of Minmus now. Look, 1, 2. Parking a whole bunch of crap out here is what we're doing. Okay, now stop. SAS off. Go over to the other craft. That's not it. That's not it. Is that it? That's it. Look at what the SAS is just like floating its wheels in the air and holding itself up by that. So, what do you do now, Pawn? Well, I very carefully and very delicately need to move us over here. And actually, before I do that, I need to set the cell phone down here as my controlling source. So, control from here, right? Is that what I needed to do? I hope so. Yeah, me too. I think that's right. The way that we're pointed at the ground right now, I believe that is correct. So, what we need to do is not bump into that. Okay, don't do that, Pawn. Turn your brakes off. And then can you just, like, sort of hop yourself in the direction you need to be? Give yourself a little spin there. Just trying to limbo underneath the... Can we F5 and, like, maybe go to a time where there's daylight? Do you mind having daylight while you do these missions? I don't know. Am I draining out electric charge and I'm gonna be screwed? Maybe. Oh, look out! Okay, just merge through it. That's fine. Let it merge through it. Let it go. There we go. Daylight. Not gonna limbo under that now, are you, Pawn? No, I'm not. But we've got daylight. We can actually see what's going on Minmus. And we've regenerated. How do I have that much electric charge on this thing? Oh, it's because of these. It's because these are designed to charge that thing. Okay. Where are you going to put this, Pawn? So this has been designed such that this piece is going to snap into one of these. One of those docking port juniors on either side of that. We need to get that hooked up. It's got legs to support itself. It's got batteries. It's got a thing to help cool the unit so that it can, you know, actually do its job. Because that was a bit of an issue. God, I hope I did this right. Tell you what, you got RCS in this thing, right? What's H do? Well, I'll tell you what. Before we do that, get you standing like upright, and then H. RCS is on. None of my RCS is because you disabled all of them in flight, didn't you? Did I? You maybe did. Enabled? No, it's enabled. Why you do nothing? RCS, because you're out of monoprop, Pawn. I was supposed to transfer some of the monoprop from that ship over to this one. It was going to be impossible now. Not impossible, just improbable, Pawn. Which is your bailiwick. Don't talk to me about science. I don't need it in my life. You can do it. Evil down our Balkan cheering 5. Why was that so quiet? Nice work, Pawn. GP is now addicted to you. Another one bites dust. Pawn, why not retract the panels, says Davey. Jesus, God, you're a genius, Davey. You're a genius. That could help, you know, save them from exploding. Where's the craft? You! Retract you! Are you the one that's even in the way? You're not. I could have left you open. In fact, why are we overheating? Extend that solar panel! Retract this solar panel! That's the one. Okay, it's the radiator panels. The heat has caught up to them. They're not even doing anything for these. Don't talk to me about that. Right? Core temp. Well, oh, yeah. Efficiency of 0.7%. So that's why we're here. In fact, can we start from scratch? Because it's been so long since we started this mission, maybe you have no idea why we're here and doing it. The reason we're here and doing this is we built this lovely little driller. Okay? And these are attached to the ISRU, or whatever the hell it's called. The LPQGTFU. The converter that turns the things we drill into fuel. So it would cool those. What it won't cool are these, because these only cool the thing they're attached to and the things that are attached to the thing that they're attached to. So I've brought up one that's supposed to cool the whole rig to attach via a docking part so that we can get our drilling somewhat above, you know, 0.7%. That's what we're about to do, and we're about to do it without any monoprop because I forgot to transfer some of it in to here. I could go back to infinite fuel. No more cheating, Pawn. It wasn't cheating. They told me to do it. Chat said to do it. The game was cheating. I have justifications for all of my behaviors. I just need you to, like, on your own, kind of roll in the direction I want you to roll in. So there you go. A little bit of a bump in that direction, and then just get her going. Yeah, take off. Here we go. Into the wild blue yonder, there we go. I would actually kind of want it on this side, I think. Yeah. Yeah, making choices. I want this one to attach to the one that's on what I consider the butt end of this. Spin you! Okay, I didn't need the flip. Just wanted some of the forward momentum is what I was looking for there. Well, don't break your antenna off. Sure. Oh, crap. Now I've gone too far. I've done it again. Oops. I did it again. I'm gonna have to turn the brakes on now. Brakes? Wow, you do stop on a dime, don't you? So if I do like that, and then oh my god, I've found an infinite propulsion method for Minmus. Turn the brakes on, and then twist, and then okay, wait, but turn them off there. No, turn them on, okay, and then hit, and then stop. It works good. It works good. Okay, now spin me around like so, and I just gotta, you know, butt bounce my way into this guy. The legs are on the wrong side, pawn. The legs are on the wrong side, pawn. You're supposed to support it from the... It doesn't matter, it's fine. I swear to God I had that right in the hang... Well, you clearly didn't, pawn. Well, I thought about it. I just, you know... It's the thing, in math class, I always used to get good marks, but I always used to get the answers wrong. Because my teachers would look at my proofs, and they would go, he gets it. I don't know how the hell he thought 7 and 3 equals 11, but he gets it. They'd look at my proofs and say, alright, this kid understands what's going on, but boy, when it comes to the details. Alright, here we go, people. This is the thing. So I just gotta yank it back a little bit and then turn the brakes off. And then get the angle in. Got it! Got it! We're connected! The piece that needs to be there is now attached. We, undock this thing from the rest of it. It falls away, hopefully. Whoa, what's going on? What's going on? Oh, crap, the other craft is using the monoprop that it's got in order to stabilize itself. Don't do that. Where are you? Where are you? There you are. Okay, don't use your monoprop. Give me gear in, gear out. No, that's... Okay, gear out, gear out. Okay, now we're popping. I'm pretty sure the drills probably can't reach now. Now we're on the ground. We've got additional support. Turn the RCS off. Turn the SAS off. You're just gonna tip right over, aren't you? You're just gonna lean right over, you son of a biscuit. Give me this solar panel back extended. Okay? Here we go. In fact, you can turn the SAS on. Yeah, I could if I wanted to, but I don't. And then, this is why we came here, people. These, running at the bad efficiency. Start the harvester drill, and start the other harvester drill. Okay? What's the efficiency? 0.7%. At a temperature of 954.33 Kelvin. We extend this radiator, and boom, the core temperature. Look at the core temperature. Look at it. 923. Our thermal efficiency going down for some reason. Why are you going down on the thermal efficiency? Are we making nothing now? Are we 0.1%. We're coming back. I don't know what the hell happened there, but it's coming back up. Yes. Yes, it's working. Is it working? Are things going to like overheat and explode? Because you're worrying me. What are your stats? Cooling, 89 point something something per something. I don't know what that means. Is 89% of your total ability to cool, or you're cooling 89%? There are numbers on the screen. Watch them. It's entrancing. It's getting better. The situation is getting better all around for everything. Our thermal efficiency is up to 30% now. We've had a 9 billion% increase by attaching that thing. As long as nothing explodes, we'll be good. Cooling is 87. I don't know about that, but as long as our temperature keeps falling, this is... I think we've done it. I think we've repaired the damn thing. Have we? What? Why is it draining the ore? Says GP Switch. Was it draining ore? It should be filling the ore. Do I also have this on? Do I also have the unit on? Monopropellant. Core temperature. Start ISRU to make monoprop. Don't turn that on, pawn. There's already heat ticks on things. Wait until you've got the core temperature down as far as it's going to go on this. Doesn't look like it's going to get much better than that. We've got 54% efficiency, and now I've proven my theory. I've proven my theory, which was that, you know, it shouldn't have to be a theory, but it's Kerbal, and I don't trust the game, I'm sorry. But so, what it means when it says one of these requires 50 kilowatts of cooling power is that for every one of these you need to have one of these because one of these contains 50 kilowatts of cooling power. So, we are running currently 2 of them at 54.8 efficiency. If I turn one off, okay, I turn you off, your temperature goes down, this stops having to suck the temperature off of this one, which means that you should start working at far more than 54.9% efficiency. You really should, and yet your numbers aren't moving at all in the slightest. If I've only got one of them working, okay? Maybe the core temperature needs to come down first, pawn. And it has. It's gone below its core... Okay, so it had to go below its maximum, and now the radiator isn't trying to take any heat away from it, maybe? And so now the thermal efficiency of this is going up to, should be 100, should go straight to 100%. If it doesn't, then it's actually going to be more efficient to run 2 of them at 54% efficiency. I mean, even if it does go to 100%, it's more efficient to run 2 of them at 54% efficiency. Because 1 at 100%, you know, or 2 at 54, that's 108% efficiency in comparison to the first, right? Right? Ore rate hasn't gone up, says GPS Twitch. Yes, says the GP. That is a small issue, isn't it? It might be converting it, or the game might be broken, or, you know, there's a million things that could be wrong with it. It doesn't look like it's going to be 100% thermal efficiency here, which means it's going to make more sense to be drilling with both of our drills at once at 50-some% efficiency. I mean, it's always going to be, anyway. So start that side. Cool, we've done things. We mathed it. The math got mathed. Mathingly. Smathery. I'm just going to put all of you up here so that we can, you know, monitor what the hell's going on. And now we're going to try... I'm going to F5, too. I'm going to F5 as well. I'm going to put you up here also. I'm going to F5. And then I'm going to turn on the, I mean, this should say stop the ISRU. Ah, monoprop. Yes, it is working. That's why. So we are filling with monoprop. And in fact, in the time that it took me... In the time that it was here working on rails, we filled a tank. And we didn't even have the drills working at anything near optimal efficiency. Cool! It worked for us. Why are you saying that there's no positive gain there? Maybe it's run out of places to put it. If it has, then it should be storing ore because it's not if I stop the ISRU. I would expect the temperature of that to go down. Okay, it's the core temp. The core temp on this has to go below 1,000, and then it will start affecting these. Our thermal efficiency will go up when it doesn't have to put any of its resources into cooling that. That's my theory. That's my theory. Did you even scan for ore, says Looney700? No, I didn't.
Nope.
But I do now have one of those things here. I think you have to have a satellite and that... There we go. It's below 1,000. And so our thermal efficiency is increasing on the drills. Yeah. And we do have a positive ore rate. We are seeing ore come in now. It's just not a lot, is the deal. So, I did put one of these on here. Surface scanning module. It doesn't work unless you've got a satellite in orbit, does it? Run the analysis. Resource analysis performed for Minmus Lowlands. It does? Ore on the surface, 10.18%. Is that good or bad? I have no idea. We've got a 10% surface ore where we are right now, where we're drilling. Did I do a good or a bad? Because I don't know what Minmus's average is, because I never put a scanner satellite in orbit, did I? Skipped it. Not exactly stellar rates, says GP Twitch. I suppose if they were both running at 100%, that'd be good. They're both running 57.1% right now, and we have a whole... We're full of monoprop. 10% sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I think it does, for Minmus. I feel like the highest rates on Minmus were like 12, but that was long ago, and it relies on my memory for it to be accurate. We have a functioning drill now, or a functioning, you know, mining outfit that's creating fuel for us in the form of monoprop on Minmus, and it was already functioning. You know, it was very, very inefficient, but in the course of the time that it took me to run the mission to get here, we had filled our tanks with monoprop, with everything running. So it's only going to be better. Every time we come back, you know, here, we're going to have more monoprop ready. Right now we have 647 monoprop stored in this thing. So, guess what I'm about to do? I'm about to get our, I think this is the 4th, Minmus roller that we've brought up to Minmus at one point or another. I'm going to stand you up, and I'm going to attach you, and you're going to get yourself some fuel, son. And you're going to refill, because you are empty as empty. So if I turn the brakes on, and then do a little bit of that, and then let the brakes off, and then we can roll in this direction. Yeah? Yeah, well, okay, you need to twist. You need to twist. Oh, God, look out, everybody's it! And we're fine. We did it. Okay, but just don't fall over. SAS on for everything. It's getting kind of heavy. It's getting kind of heavy. Give me the monoprop from in there, transfer to the Minmus roller. So, yeah, not the external command seat, surprisingly. Give me this, give me that, give me you, and then give me you. And then out. Why no out? Maybe because these are up. And it's confusing the system. Drop those. Drop them. Drop them like it's hot. Give me this. Transferring into you. Yep, that was confusing the system. And you. And out. 160 of the monoprop that we have generated is going into this Minmus roller. And then we have another Minmus roller that's kind of stranded on Minmus on the other side right now. And now that we got a fuel platform here, we can refuel that. And we can start, you know, I could totally build some other kinds of craft for this. Also, both of the Pilgrims, the Pilgrim is a pure monoprop ship. They don't run on liquid fuel at all. Which means if I can wiggle the butt in the right direction and get it over here. If I can get it... Actually, we've got an attachment point on the top of this thing. I can just fly it up and land it on top and refuel both of those, too. Which means, imagine this scenario. I launch a Minmus roller. I burn out to Minmus for the 900 that it costs. I land on Minmus. I refuel to the... I think 2100 Delta V that the, not Minmus roller, that the Pilgrims. 2100 Delta V the Pilgrim has in its belly, and then I'm launching from Minmus at the edge of Kerbin's SOI to wherever I want to go with 2000 Delta V to get there. I'm telling you, this craft is friggin' amazing. I love it. It's my favorite craft I ever made. We have a completely full and ready to go Minmus roller now. Detach me. It's not from this side. Undock. Unhinge me. You know, it's been that way for years, but there we go. So get you on your feet. That's your feet. That's the way you're supposed to be. Give me some brakes, okay? Just to stabilize you. And then just to remind you how the Minmus roller is supposed to work. SAS on, brakes off, RCS on, and why is everything upside down? I need a different control point. Control from the seat. There we go. And then H. Yeah. That's how the Minmus roller works. You get it up on these wheels, give it a little bit of monoprop burst from behind, and then you just roll as far as you want to. Get it up to 50 meters per second, and then when you want to come to a stop, just start slamming into the terrain. Because these wheels cover everything, they keep everything safe in here, and they have an impact tolerance of 50 meters per second. I am the rodent pawn! Damn it! I did good. I did good here, people. I got the that's on the wrong end. So that's the thing. But I did good otherwise. Just gonna park this roller up there. Okay. Keep your SAS on, your RCS no. Actually SAS off, RCS off, and then SAS back on. Just trying to make sure that it's flat. And you sit up like that. That's my craft. It defies physics on the surface of Minmus, because it's got enough power to, you know, do that. Let's refuel our Pilgrims now. This guy's got 65 monoprop here. I have to be careful about not, you know, bumping into that. If I want to be real safe, I could just, you know, retract it. I'd have to turn everything off. I wonder if when you retract it, the heat that it's absorbed just gets pushed into everything else and something explodes. I would expect that to be the case. F5. So let's not retract it. Instead, let's fly this thing up and set her down there. Give me... Let's see, RCS is going to have to be on. Dorsal Ansel is going to be like... It's the reverse of what you think, pawn. Okay. Give me some thrust. Some thrust. Okay, that's enough thrust. Kill the engines. And then... Yeah, it's the opposite of what you were thinking, pawn. Over here. Oh, SAS! I forgot that... Okay, I didn't realize SAS was... That's... We said don't break the thing, is what we said. Okay, give me a view that's actually going to help. None of these views help. It's trying to work with a 3D space and with a 2D view. It doesn't. Okay, everything's backwards, pawn. Remember that. No, I keep saying that anyway. Can I get you in a place where it's less backwards for me? Well, if you did like that, probably, sir, then things would work out. And more. More. Okay, stop, stop, and then this way. There you go. Now things work the way that I expect them to. Kill the engines. Kill the engines. Okay? And then just the tiniest bit of the engines just to give us hover. Just to give us some hover. Like that. Yeah. Yeah. Just a little bit of hover. A little bit more hover. Ah! We got it! We got it. Engines off, RCS off. Oh, I was supposed to bring the gear in, too. It's help. It's fine. It's there. I did it. I did it. It's also bare bones and functional right now. What's bare bones and functional? I'm thinking these Kerbals need a little accommodation, maybe some crew quarters. There's this pleasure tower. This is the Minmus pleasure tower, GP. There's more women in there than I don't. Pleasure tower. Colonization, you know? You send 3 men and 1 woman. Oh god. You know, I actually, okay, not on those heads, but I did think about, like, what are the interests, what are the things you have to think about if you're sending a colonization force to Mars? And, like, you have to plan a pregnancy. I think. I think you need to plan a pregnancy. Like, the trip from Earth to Mars is going to take a couple of years. 3, I believe. And, like, by the time you get there, you want a child being born who was in utero in space. You want to know you want to have that when you land on Mars. And, you know, could end up being that you can't have a child in space. There's been a lot of research done on this, that you can't, you know, maybe you can't bring a child to term in 0 gravity. But you have to test that. You have to do that because, you know, on the surface of Mars, a human being is not going to last as long because of bone density and because they developed on Earth and because of, you know, different gravities and also there's solar radiation and stuff like that. But there's, you know, the different environment is a problem. So you need to have a child on the way to Mars so that it can be, you know, born in a place where there was 0 gravity and then can grow up on the surface of a planet where there's half gravity. I mean, even if you don't have it in space on the way, I suppose the other argument is just to have it when you get to Mars. But you have to plan. This is what's weird. Like, NASA has to plan a pregnancy. If you're sending a colonized ship, Elon Musk has to sit down and say, okay, you know, you're doing interviews. So, you are, you know, a pilot. You have all this, you know, emergency medical training. You just, you know, understand all the physics behind all this stuff. Rocket science degree. Great. Now, you are willing to, you know, have a child with someone on the way, right? Because we're going to need that. You're a colonization force. Once you get there, we need you to be impregnated by one of the other astronauts. We'll send you with backup semen vials. And, like, that's the things you got to think about if you're sending a colonization force out. What if, like, the woman survives the trip, but the men don't, or the men become sterile or something like that? We're going to send, you know, artificial insemination tools along with, if you're sending a colonization force to Mars, and you're going to be serious about it, these are the things you have to think about. And it's just crazy because it's like, it's so eugenics-y feeling. It's so like planning humans. And it's just like, ew, that's just not natural, is it? Telling people, now you're going to have to screw, and then, you know? Well, in space sex is really difficult. Lack of gravity means the man gets circulation issues, says A.V. Downs. Well, that's, you know, another thing. You Viagra it up. Whatever you gotta do. I mean, maybe it has to be artificial insemination, but you know, that's gotta be part of the plan. Otherwise, you're just sending people to the surface of Mars to die, aren't you? Just, hey, cool! You know, you'll live for maybe 20 years because of the, you know, you'll land there, and if you're lucky, you'll live for another 20 years of your life, because of the radiation that you've had on the way in, that you've taken in from just being, you know, no atmosphere around you and the sun penetrating the hull of the spacecraft, and then you'll land on a planet where, because of the half gravity, your veins and your circulation is like confused and doesn't work right, and your bone density starts and your muscles start to wither. But it's gonna, you know, because you were born on Earth, it's probably going to take a huge toll on your body. If you're lucky, you'll get 2 decades of life on Mars, and then you'll be dead, and we'll send another ship of bastards to die. You have to plan people. Is what I'm saying. If you're going to have a colonization effort, you got to plan for people. And you got to plan for the event or the idea that maybe they won't be able to, which means, yeah, you know, you've got to have, like, on-site, on the ship, the ability to impregnate a woman without a man being involved and things like that. It's just like, damn. Pawn, humans live better in 1/3 gravity. It strains your heart less, says A.V. Downs. I doubt that that's the conclusive science on it. I mean, that would definitely be one of the things that's probably upper, but I'm pretty sure, you know, lower gravity is also going to, you know, your body is just used to a certain thing. I mean, imagine, like, your digestion cycle and your bowels and the parasites that are in your stomach. There's so much going on there. I would be really surprised to find out that, you know, it's actually healthier for a human being who was born on Earth to live on Mars. Would be really surprised about that. Plus, there's still all that solar radiation from the trip, and then Mars doesn't have as thick an atmosphere, so there's more radiation when you're on the surface of Mars. Reprogramming genes would be useful, says Dendy. No! Don't have to do that. You just need to have you need to have a pregnancy on the way. You know, people born in space will naturally be, you know, their bodies will develop more toward it, if it's going to work at all. You know, if the human genome can handle 0G, or, yeah, 0G environment in utero. And then, you know, kids born on Mars naturally will, you know, hopefully become strong enough to, their bodies will develop how they should for Mars. I hope we're just really, really adaptable, is what I'm saying. Otherwise, we're not getting off this planet. The logical step is a base on the moon first. Until then, talking about Mars is just BS. I don't think anybody's going to the moon. There's no resources up there. Nobody's excited about it. You can't get any money. I think it is going to be Mars before the moon. Just because of the realities of the world. You can get people excited about, we're going to land on Mars, somewhere we've never been before. The idea of, we're going to cart up a whole bunch of resources and try and build a station on the moon. Sounds cool to a lot of people. But unless you can, like, inject some tourism dollars into that scenario, nobody's interested in spending the money, including governments. There's a reason we haven't been back to the moon. It's boring, and there's nothing to do up there. Hey, look at these rocks. They're sharp and cutting through my spacesuit. This sucks. What are you doing, Pawn? I don't know. We need to refuel, right? You need to refuel, Pawn. Okay, this is going to be a very difficult ship to refuel because of exactly what we're looking at here. So you... Maybe I can just pin them all so I don't lose them as I'm doing this. And you. And then the third one. And you. I would love to have a much better way to do this, but, you know. It had to look awesome. And this ship does look awesome. And it contains, you know, this isn't a cheat. It might be a cheat. It's not a cheat in terms of volumetric space. I've put precisely as many monoprop containers in here as... you know, volumetrically would fit the contents, in my best estimation. And I think I'm actually light. I think if I put one more in there, I'd be over, but I think with the current amount that I've got, I haven't even filled all of the space that this thing should contain, theoretically. I could just shove all the monoprop into one of them, and not distribute it evenly, but that doesn't sound... No, because you want monoprop in everything. That's right, I do. You're right. I've got all of you up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, you're not what I thought you were. You're up? Yeah, that's all of those. And you're all pinned. And then all I need to do... What do you need to do, Pawn? I need to grab the monoprop out of something on here. You, and say, out. And that is not going to be anywhere near the amount of monoprop that we need to refill this ship. Out of that one. But there are more. There's more monoprop on that thing. The moon has H3 for fusion, says Mosaic Task Force. It has helium-3? Is that? Right off. Bye all. Goodbye, A.V. Downs. Damn it, I missed you. Didn't I? It's 2 minutes past. And Acumatic. See you. Hello, Acumatic. So that's all the fuel out of there. I get talking about nothing in particular, and then, you know, we're just gone. No one remembers what the hell was going on. I mean, you guys do. You're sitting here waiting for me. Will he just transfer the fuel already? The answer is, yeah, no. No, actually. I'm not going to do that. Can I out and out? No, not at once. It's got to be one fuel tank at a time, Pawn. Alright. Give me that and out. Into there. That's what Mars is all about, collecting money. There's not going to be a trip to Mars, says Looney700. I don't know, Elon seems pretty damn, you know, heading straight for it, if you ask me. He seems like plowing through to it. I don't think he's going to be anywhere on the schedule that he'd like to think he's on. But I think he also knows that that's not going to happen. I think he's just setting schedules to try and, you know, drive things forward. To try and, like, yeah, move it. Let's go. Let's make it happen. But he does seem pretty damn, you know, committed to the premise. And I think if anybody's going to get us there, it's going to be Elon Musk. With the first small colony ship. And then he'll own the moon, and I will want to move there, or he'll own Mars, rather, and I'll want to move there. Because it'll be a far better government. Where I had more monoprop content. Yeah, you got all these balls, Pawn. Yeah, you want to suck everything that's in your balls out. There we go. The moon has readily apparent helium-3 on the surface because of sunshine. On Earth, helium-3 needs to be filtered out of water. Is that, am I saying that right? It is helium-3, by the way. You're saying H3. Pawn, can we get some historical context on that patio building video you did? You said that earlier. Historical context. I had left the Zen Center, and I'd moved back from Canada, to stay with my mom because her health was horrible and mine wasn't horrible back then. And I wanted to be, you know, of some help to her and be making use of my time and my energy and that sort of a thing. So I moved in with her. It's also good for both of us monetarily, you know, that I'd be helping to support, you know, two people supporting one household better than one. So I moved in with her, and I did that patio thing, you know, because on a lark, kind of. Just, she liked the look of that patio tile. I think she bought the little thing. I think she bought it. Yeah, she bought it. And then I decided, and then I did it. And I decided I'd make a video about it while I was... What historical context? It's all there. It's in the video. It doesn't need historical context. I didn't have enough fuel in here to refill the thing. Is there more... Didn't I have, like, more monoprop on here? How much monoprop do you take? 80, 160, 320, and then 480, and then a lot is what it takes. It takes over 600, Pawn. Yeah, well then, I didn't have enough monoprop in here to fill all of it. That's fine. That's a lot of Delta V that's been added to that craft. Drop all of those, and actually, while you're still attached to the top, screw it. Let's see about starting the ISRU monoprop. Go! It's gonna work. Thermal efficiency of 100% currently, but our core temperature is rising over its stock. And then we just drain out the ore really, really quickly. Really quickly, and now we're out of ore. But we did make, you know, some monoprop, probably. How much did you make? 1.45 in all of the containers. I don't know. It's working, though. It's working. And if I detach this ship, let's go ahead and detach this ship just so we can see how much we got out of this. It's a complete waste of... Okay, yep, get off. Get off. Just go away. You're going to tip something, you're going to break something, you get off of there, and you go over here, and then RCS, and sure, anywhere. Land someplace that's not on the solar panels. Okay? Just curious to know. Look at that. We've got 1,600 meters per second of Delta V in this thing. We didn't even refuel it entirely yet. Will you just land? I can't be bothered. I was trying to figure out which was the dorsal ansel on the monoprop. Just screw it. It's Minmus. Slam it into the ground. It'll be fine. 1,640 meters per second of Delta V in this one. We got two of them on the surface. We didn't even bother refueling it completely, which I will do before I take these anywhere. But this is awesome. This is awesome. This is the refueling station for any time you want to go to Duna or somewhere else. It's going to take a fair bit of Delta V. Send one of these guys out, towing whatever you want as long as it's small enough to not occlude the engines. And land them down here, refuel them, and you'll be leaving for interplanetary with 2,100 meters per second at delta V from Minmus. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Turn this thing off. I think it's still running, even though it can't process. And actually, don't turn it off. You know, isn't this like, wouldn't this be a problem? Like, this thing is running, but it doesn't have, it's processing like the tiniest amount of ore per second, right? Because we're not drawing in enough ore, so we bring it in, and it processes just a little bit of it. But the whole time, it's just using all of. It seems to be making as much heat as if it were converting a whole batch of ore constantly. Whatever. The whole thing works. It's not going to overheat. It's not going to explode. If I leave it here the next time I come back, it will probably have a full load. And I am going to leave it here, for I am the Ronin Pawn. The Ronin Pawn. That's the end of the live stream. Thanks everybody for coming out. It was a slow, grindy one, wasn't it? Slow, grindy one. But we did the thing that we came out to do, and I had fun, and I loved like sitting here and talking to you guys about stuff. Goodbye, Zorglob. I will be shortly launching the new channel, and letting you guys know where it's going to be, and also by the next live stream, entirely possible that we'll have the new computer running. That will be 1080p 60 perfect even in VR for us. I'm excited. You should be excited. I'll see you back here 2 days from now, Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Pawn out.